Sade, real quick. Sorry, y'all. I'm doing the mom thing. Can you text Tom to and tell her to come get her brother, please? Okay. Thank y'all so much. I know we were supposed to start at 7, but we had a little issue uploading the actual footage that we're gonna be using tonight. Cause it's good. It's good. Jasmine, tell him, ain't it good? It's good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Listen. Y'all go give me my flowers. Me and my ashy elbows. Y'all go give me my flowers today. Okay. Now look, we got a strong lineup tonight. All right. Moderators, please. Okay. We are all grown folks. I trust y'all. It's the reason why a lot of the moderators have been with me such a long time. A lot of them are day one winos, but we do not block over here. Okay, we don't block. Now, if there's a troll that keeps spamming the same thing, you can go ahead and put them on timeout. They'll get the picture, okay? But please don't be timeout, folks, because they say something that you necessarily don't agree with. This is how we all function as humans, okay? Not everybody's right, not everybody's wrong, okay? And so that's how we become better when we challenge each other's ideas and ideologies and stuff like that. I'm not trying to sound like a little college professor, but I just had to put that out there, okay? So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support, all right? But please just don't block anybody. And yeah, you know how to do it. Welcome. Thank y'all so much. I'm so sorry I am late. Like I said, we had some technical issues, but we're here now on time. I'm only like 3 minutes late. We got a strong lineup tonight. Will and Jada. It's gonna get serious here in a minute, okay? It's gonna get serious. I wouldn't be surprised if cease and desist come out tonight. Listen, who else? We're definitely gonna be covering Travis Scott. I'm trying to get in the mood. It's been a minute since I've been live. Definitely going to be covering Travis Scott and Astroworld. I think you'll be surprised to hear my thoughts on that. And the Did I Lie news, okay? Stevie J, as well as Erica Mena and Safari. We're definitely going to touch on that. Jennifer Lopez, okay, is out here on shit. Period, okay? Nene Leakes. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you. We got Hit a Lick news, and it's hard. We're gonna start with Hit a Lick news. I mean, it's not a big lick, but the way she did it, listen, we got to give this woman her flowers, okay? Who else? I think that's about it. And we have an exclusive interview, okay? If you are a Tasha K Live member, okay? If you are a member on our website as well as app, you would have seen this interview, okay? Now, not all of my interviews, only 10% of the interviews that are posted on the app for the app members, okay? Because I don't want you to think that, we're going to be doing this all the time. This is a very rare thing. Your content that we have over there stays over there, okay? And so only seldomly we will post something that goes on the app over here. And Don Russell is an exception, okay? Because no one knows about Don Russell. No one knows about how he pieced together, working with R.Kelly, everything that had been going on with his estate, with his empire, with his staff for over 20 years. And I think once you hear this interview tonight, exclusively here on Unwind with Tasha K, you are going to be able to put everything into perspective, okay? This is the first of our in-house limited series, okay? And we're going to be breaking down each and every enabler, and they're going to have their own segment, okay? It's not going to be like how I did the first time, how I kind of put everybody together. No, you are going to see firsthand who these people are, what role they played, okay, and how they still play an ultimate role in R.Kelly being locked up, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, R.Kelly is there because R.Kelly is there. Okay. However, there were some forces at play, and I think you're going to start to connect the dots tonight once you hear this interview exclusively here on Unwind with Tasha K. We flew all the way to Chicago. We sat down with some people, and like I said, the app members know, okay? And also, we do have something else exclusive that's going to be going on the app, okay? Now, I know we've talked and we've spoken to R. Kelly's brother, R.Kelly, a few times, but this new interview is going to blow your mind, okay? And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and roll the trailer, okay? As well as our sponsors. We do have to show our sponsors some love. That means we got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means Bowling Raise a Glass to hold that thought. We will be right back, okay? But watch this trailer and show some love to the sponsors. Let's go. Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot of the olive leaf extract, because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and it has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine. Listen, I know that life has been kicking all of our ass lately, but you do not have to look like it. Walking around with dark circles like I used to, acne, hyperpigmentation from not wearing that sunscreen, but nah, knock all of that out, adjust your crown, and return your skin to goddess status with Regal Rose Club. Purchase their vegan skincare cleanser, moisturizer, and mask using the link below. It's all made with organic and natural premium herbs. Get your glow back with Regal Rose Club. I've got the perfect way for you to boss up on your sea moss. Bioforce by Embrace Pangea is all the benefits of sea moss put in an easy-to-take capsule. Sea moss is already nature's vitamin, so with those benefits plus burdock root, plus moringa, plus bladder wax, you'll have a better immune health across the board, plus a shit ton of energy within seconds. Visit EmbracePangea.com for your well-deserved boost with Bioforce, because you deserve it. And don't forget to use your coupon code TASHAK for 10% off your first order. Of course, we're talking about Aaliyah's uncle.
Right.
Okay. What was that relationship like, and what did you see given your time with him?
Barry was a mind doctor.
Lifetime contributed heavily to the investigation that was opened against your brother. Your brother was going to pay you a fee to say that it was you.
When I had a videotape on Robert Sylvester Kelly, I did not. I was my brother's keeper.
There was a conversation we had about your brother R.Kelly impregnating his niece. Is that true? What if they were to say that the reason you weren't around is because you were a snake yourself? Listen, I'm not playing no games. I'm not playing no games, okay? I broke it all down, and I'm gonna put it back together, okay? I'm not playing no games. Now, that interview will only be exclusively played on our app, okay? TashaKLive.com. You go to the website, sign up, then you can download the app for free on the App Store. This is going to be in a $12 tier. We won't premiere it until after Friday night's live, okay? We're going to have a watch party together. Get your popcorn, get your wine, whatever it is that you do. We do not discriminate, okay? And so that's on that, all right? Now, in Hit a Lick News, Miss Donna Marino. You know, I got to give her flowers. Miss Donna was recently given, I forgot how many years she was given, but she was locked up, okay, for scamming her husband over a 20-year period out of $600,000. I know y'all saying, like, what? $600,000 is really not a lot of money. Really not. To me, it's not, okay? But how she did it, this woman deserves an Oscar. Somebody need to, I need Lifetime to do a movie right now. Nah, Donna, don't look like that. Hold your head high. Let me hold up your chin. Look, Donna, pick your chin up. Pick your chin up. Pick it up, okay? Glad you got rid of that mullet. Now listen, I said I was gonna do me a little mullet. Rihanna been rocking that real nice. I like that. Anyway, so how she did it? She convinced her husband that he had Alzheimer's. Now, the husband is 78 years old, but over a 20-year period, somehow convinced her husband that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so every time he got ready to go to the bank, she would tell him, you remember you had an episode in the bank and you're not allowed to go back in the bank. So because of how you acted last time, so it's best I go in the bank and you wait here. And she was just withdrawing. She was just withdrawing. She was going to bingo. You know what I'm saying? She was playing a number. She was playing that play 4, that play 3. You know what I'm saying? Buying some RC colas, taking some goody powders. She just wiping him out. Now, I don't understand like how y'all married for 20 years and he got his money and you got your money and then you in jail because the bank. I guess maybe the bank got suspicious, but from what we found out. His daughter, the 78-year-old man who she stole this money from, she had been married to him for over 20 years. I think I'm entitled to $600,000. Me, okay? Especially if I'm in my 50s and I gotta lay down with somebody that's almost 80, you need to pay me my money. Period. So I'm kind of gonna be with Miss Donna on this, okay? Miss Donna, she don't look like no Karen either. Pick it channel. Anyway, yeah. She'll be out before he die. Okay, so they will release her before she die. I mean, this was like the perfect white collar crime, the perfect desperate housewife crime. Okay, she asked, "Baby, you buy me this?" He said, "No." Okay, so she having a conversation with him, like, "Look, honey, you know what happened to you last time. The bank has banned you. Your picture is on the wall, so I will just go." She managed to get him to sign a power of attorney. And so she was able to just move and swipe and, like I say, put gas in her car, you know what I'm saying, go shop at the Family Dollar, you know, play like the Cash 3, Cash 4, you know what I'm saying, the Powerball every week. She wasn't really doing nothing because she definitely wasn't doing her hair. That's for sure. Okay? That's for sure. Okay? This hairstyle, okay, comes right out of the 80s. I'm just glad that it's not the mullet. But anyway, y'all show some love to Miss Donna. Ryder, she's in Pennsylvania. I think she's in the same prison that Bill Cosby was in. So Ryder, show her some love. You know what I'm saying? And ask her how you could scam your husband out of more. Okay, see, if I'm going to go to jail, I'm definitely going to take more. So she's sitting in jail, $600,000 over 20 years. Let me see how much that is. Hold on for a second. Let me get my calculator out. I know y'all probably gonna do that in your head. I can't. I'm a drunkard. Let me see. 600 divided by 20 years. That's only what, $30,000 a year. What, 30,000? That's $30,000 a year. That's not a lot of money. That ain't shit. Like that's a year's salary. That's a year's salary. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, shout out to Donna. She hit a lick. Small lick, but it was a lick. Okay. Moving on. Y'all ready? Listen, this interview is so intense. I can't wait to show y'all this interview. Like I said, if you are a member of the app, you know what goes down on the app. I am uncensored, unfiltered, raw. And they don't get Tasha K. They get Latasha, Transrena, Kibi, Howard. Well, Howard Keeper. Okay, now, I can't do this right now. Why are you gonna make me do this, Jasmine?
Because it just felt like it was right.
Brittany Renner. Okay, now everybody knows Brittany has quite the past. Okay, she likes kindergartners as men. All right, easy lick for her. I saw a very disturbing interview because I'm just like, how do you, as the modern day superhead, Brittany Renner, if you don't know, IG model, you know, she's known for dating, 18-year-olds with a lot of money, going to college campuses, telling women like myself, because, my son going to be 18 one day, hide your sons, you know what I'm saying? Because she coming, you know what I'm saying? She knows how to she knows how to put pussy on, okay? And she knows, she can't, I guess she hadn't figured out how to become a wife. And so why do I have to, sleep with old men for some money, and I could just go to the young, aspiring basketball players, the rappers, you know what I'm saying, the entertainers, all that there, okay? Well, she had a sit down with DJ Academics on his podcast. I forgot the name of his podcast. I really don't care, okay? But what's interesting is that, I'm just like, how is it that you build such a reputation being truthful? Now, you got to give her credit. She is very truthful. She hasn't hid exactly who she is. And so if anybody if she hits a lick, that's pretty much your fault. She's been very, very straightforward about who she is from the beginning, okay? But push come to shove, men like ass. This is being like pussy. And that's just what it's going to be, okay? There's always somebody, okay, that's willing to hit it if you don't want it. Now, what I saw was just quite disturbing because I'm just like, ain't no way I'm going to be sitting up here paying, tricking, prostitute, whatever, escort, whatever you want to call it, okay? And a man with hips, booty meat, titties, will ever tell me, okay, what I am. Because first of all, has anybody ever seen academics in fitted clothes? I'm trying to make a point here because I know you're like, Tasha, why are you attacking this body? I got a point here, okay? I got a point. Just wait for it. Has anybody ever seen academics in fitted clothes? I'll wait. I'll let y'all vote in the comments. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. Let me see. Has anybody, speak now or forever hold your peace, ever seen academics in any fitted shirts or pants? Anybody? I can't even find my damn video. No. You haven't. And you won't, because he can't fit skinny jeans or even Levi's over them thunder thighs and the ass that he got. He got more ass than any IG model out here on the internet. The internet, okay? The internet. And that's a fact. He can give a whole fat transfer, which means he can lay down if you don't make enough fat, and he can give you his fat, because he will accumulate more, because most folks who got big hips, big thighs, big asses, you know what I'm saying, they gain weight there first. They gain weight faster than somebody who's shaped like a pea like myself, okay? It takes longer to put weight up here than it does down here, okay? And the shit don't look right. Let me tell you, when I gain weight, it don't look right. But anyway, I say this to say because academics, social media is one hell of a come up. I gotta tell you, okay? He's short. He looks like Alvin. I mean, you know how Alvin and the Chipmunks are shaped? You know how they got them little cute, like Ratatouille faces, and they got them thick hips and the big asses and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? And they always wearing his shirts, and you could always see the shape of their ass. That's exactly how he's shaped, okay? And so sitting in the presence of a woman like this and him being able to tell a woman who's been very upfront about, who she is, unlike him, I would be scared shitless for him to get undressed, and I see that he got more ass and booty meat than me, okay? He is a literally walking saucy Santana. I have got to go for a second. Yes.
Now let me see you walk.
Right, now let me see you walk. Wow. I'm serious. Think about it. Look, if I had to put your saucy Santana, this is exactly what he is. This is who he's always been. And so him being able to tell a woman that he only smashed, okay, because he makes money gossiping using a high-pitched voice, which means he delivered news similar to a goddamn woman. Think about it. Just think about it for a second. I'm going to let y'all, I'm not going to try to influence y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to put two and two together. Okay, so when you listen to academics, the reason he's popular, it's not because his news is good. It's because he's funny to look at. Reason being why he don't show his face a lot. And two, his voice is so high-pitched that you honestly think it's a woman or maybe even Saucy Santana delivering the gossip. So it's a great package. And what happens? You get clout chasers. You get women who want to access men like this because he's forever, you know what I'm saying, trying to put himself, on the same level as the rappers he's merely interviewing, asking about the size of their, you know what I'm saying? Asking how many hoes they done slept with because he ain't never done no shit like that. And to this day, he pays. He gets mad that he has to pay somebody like this to spread that thigh meat apart. Because you got to move it if you're going to lick some ass. Okay? You got to move. And you can imagine it's always sweating. Okay? It's always moist down there. And don't let him have no hair. Hair on the thigh meat. Don't let him have no hair. Don't nobody want to be licking strings or thread, okay? And he has to pay for it. And so by him sitting there having the audacity, and when he sat down, you see his shape. Now, it's bad if a man sit down and you see his shape, okay? It's bad. Give me some. Give me some. Because when I sit down, you don't see my shape. Give me some. A little jealous. So him being able to tell this woman that she will never be a wife because simply she don't want to be seen around town with nobody like him unless they got a bag, unless they can fly out, unless they can buy a ride. That's what that was all about. I just had to put that shit out there, okay? I just had to, because I was like, Brittany, now you better than that. Now, I respect Brittany for the simple fact that she ain't out here fronting. You know, she tells you exactly what it is. Now, if she, my son, I'm not going to issue no threats online, okay? I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to issue no threats online. But anyway, I just had to put that out there. Moving on. Did I lie? I wish I had my hat. Did I lie? Did I lie? Nah. They done made up an excuse as to why they're divorcing. He's cheating. No, she's cheating. He's cheating. And they both. I really think that, and we were just talking about this before the show, I really think that they really thought the world was going to watch Biggie's ex-producer and Biggie's ex-wife make us believe that they're actually in love, and we know that they are the modern day Bobby and Whitney. I gotta go. Bobby and Whitney. Bobby! I just... Now, I don't take pleasure in watching two cokeheads, crackheads, do business on television. I really don't. But I think Mona had put a stop to it because watching reality shows, I mean, when you watch, we see it all the time when we watch like the pill addicts and stuff like that, and the meth addicts and stuff. You know, that stuff is very sad. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I believe Mona has just a little bit of moral, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because she's yet to show, even though she shows us in a very colorful, sometimes very ratchet, sometimes very elaborate light, she ain't never put a crackhead like that on TV. She ain't never highlighted that. And I got to give her credit on that. I really do. Because she could have. And she knew that all of them had dope problems. And she never highlighted that once in the Love and Hip Hop franchise. Have you seen it? She hasn't. Okay? She allowed them to be themselves. But move the mirror off the table to the side so it won't be caught in the shot. Because that's what I don't want. Okay? Now, Faith and Stevie thought we were going to buy this marriage of convenience. Okay? This was a coke marriage. This was a marriage so that they can accumulate reality shows so that they can accumulate a check and buy coke. That's it. That's it. That's it. Take one. I love you, baby. I love you. I love you. Let me sing you a song. I was all alone. I was feeling right alone. I got high just doing that, and I ain't even snorting no coke. I really thought you went and got married in Vegas, you know, like, and you can imagine what they was doing up until that moment when they thought of it, when they was in the room, surrounded by a bunch of powder, okay? Let's go get married. We need more money for coke. Let's go get married. We should get married. Yeah, get your coat on. They ran down there just like modern day Bobby and Whitney, and went straight to Mona, high the next day, straight to TMZ to tell us that they had been married, thinking that they was going to be able to sell us a reality Coke show. I gotta go. Moving on. I try to tell y'all. I be trying to tell y'all. Who else is in Did I Lie news? Who else is in Did I Lie? Yeah. Now, this is different. We have two individuals. Listen, I need polls. I'm going to need YouTube. I'm going to contact YouTube, and I'm going to tell them to do polls in the chat. Okay? Because I need y'all to name what talent the Safari, we're going to play Jeopardy. We're going to play Jeopardy. I'm Alex Trebek. Call me Alex K. Okay? Hi, Alex. How you doing today? Safari, who's playing? Give me two audience members in the comments. Hold on. Let me see. Who want to play? I'm Alex K today. Okay? Alex K. Hold on. All right, so we're going to play Maury Montel. What will you take? You want to take $200? All right. Tell me what talent does Safari and Erica Mena have? You didn't answer. Moving on. Let me see. Seneca. No. Genesis Williams. What will you take? 500? Okay, 500. Please tell me what talent does Safari and Erica Mena have? Go! Purpose-driven book. Don't make me pull out the purpose-driven book. What is your purpose? What is their purpose in life? Okay? What is it? Influencers. What have they influenced you to do? What? If they're I'm an influencer. I'm an influencer. I influence you guys with public opinion to help start the conversation and that will keep the world woke, moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here to dictate. I'm here to just start the conversation. You understand? And put you on the stuff that you necessarily would have thought of. I'm an influencer. What is their talent? Y'all still ain't told me. Somebody, please, yes. I love how Priscilla Cummings, please fill out the book. See, I love that purpose-driven book. Y'all gonna be on Amazon. This man finna get some sales tonight, okay? I love that purpose-driven book because you have to fill it out. They have a workbook with it, and it helps you to realize what is your purpose. It's a Christian-driven book, but it's a great book. It was a bestseller. I read the book myself, figured out my purpose. That's why I'm here right now. You understand what I'm saying? But I want you to, y'all still ain't told me what these two do. What do they do? Who buys a house and moves in the house only to divorce, only to take clothes and bleach them down, only for her to be caught at a party or her birthday party, he buying her a watch. It was like a little $4,000 watch. They got liens against their house for $2,000. Let me put y'all on something. We're talking about purpose now. There's a purpose in life. What is their purpose? What is their purpose? What is it? Nothing. Thank you. Because when no one has a purpose, when you don't have a purpose-driven life, when you have yet to fill out that workbook, Now, a lot of us find our purpose because we have parents that help to foster that purpose. You know, we have friends and we're surrounded by people that help to foster that purpose. But a lot of us are out here lost in the world, okay? Because when our families don't have purpose, you know what I'm saying? They don't have purpose. I'm the only entrepreneur in my family. Okay? Now a lot of them are starting to become entrepreneurs, and I'm happy because we're changing that generational cycle. But these are... What's the word when... Hold on, let me ask Jasmine something. Cut my mic off for a second. Come back. Put the mic on. All right. So we had to have a powwow. Because I had to get educated on something for a little bit because I've been out the game for a long time. And I'm trying to figure out what would you call these two? Because I had to go to the drawing board. I had to go to the producers. You know what I'm saying? I said, what do you call these two? That's what Jasmine is, and Sade and everybody else here. And I can't figure out what you would call them, okay? These are the equivalent of what they call, and listen, this is no shade. I know it's a lot of people out here assistance, okay? And I get it, okay? We need help. But these two don't. Okay, and in order to keep their check coming in, see, I used to get, at one time in my life, I used to get food stamps, right? Let me give you a scenario. I used to get food stamps. And I remember, I went down there, I had baby Tonto. Tonto was like 1, maybe 2 years old. We had just lost our transport company. We about $200,000 in debt. You know, bills up to here. I'm working at Buffalo Wild Wings. Husband working at TGI Fridays, wearing them tight-ass black pants every day. The apron sitting up here under his head. He just looked like Steve Urkel in a damn suit. You know what I'm saying? We had to do what we had to do, but living up north, it was a bit tight because we was living in Hagerstown, Maryland, and when I tell you there was no jobs there because everybody got a job, then they got on heroin, and then nobody wanted to work, so the jobs left the business, okay? So the only thing down there was restaurants, okay, bars, and prisons. That's it, all right? And the blocks where they used to sell the slave and stuff from. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But broke, right? So I said, you know, we got to get some food stamps. You know, I had put down my pride, and I went down there and got them. I think we got like 300. We got approved for $303 a month. Okay. Now they asked if I wanted Medicaid, but then they asked, was I married? I said, yeah, because I heard a lot. I was like, I ain't married. It's just me and my baby. They said, well, if you want food stamps, you gotta give us the name of a daddy. And then we have to draw child support if we're going to give you these food stamps. And I'm like, okay, listen. I don't have his information now. So you know how they give you the temporary food stamps, right? They gave me the temporary food stamps, right? So I was like, listen. So I got there for the first 30 days. And we ate good. Boy, we ate crab legs. We ate real good. Now, I'm going to make a point. Give me a second here. So, I'm Erica Mena. We gotta eat. Nah, because they needed my husband's name, I said, listen, you gotta go down there. I can't go. And if you go, maybe they'll give us more or maybe they'll just give us less. He was like, I gotta go to the food stamp. I'm like, hell yeah, I took my ass down there, so you gotta go down there too and smile. Or look sad. You know what I'm saying? So he put on like a dirty white t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? He was looking just like one of them heroin addicts in Hagerstown, Maryland. Shout out to Hagerstown. Looking just like him, okay? When he grow his beard and his hair, he look real bad. He look like he on that shit for real. I be like, you got to get a haircut like something. I had to call the barber to the house just to get him made up. Now, hold on. I'm making my point. So he goes down there. He takes Tonto with him and says, I'm the baby daddy. She didn't want to give my name because I ain't got no job or nothing like that. And so we need these food stamps. Lady was like, oh my God, great. So we have you, perfect. So sign here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna continue. We just kind of need your information. So if you ever do get a job, being that you guys aren't married, we're gonna garnish your check. We're gonna send her child support. She can't be a single mother, okay? He was like, she's not single, baby, right here. He was like, I'm just saying, a lot of fathers don't stay, right? So he comes home, he was like, I ain't never doing that no more. I was like, yes, you is. Yeah, we gotta eat. Yes, you are, right? This is Erica and Safari. Every time there's a show season about to start, they conjure up a plan. She need money. Okay? I thought she would hire a maid because when I saw them damn floors in that house, they were sticky. I can't stand that shit. But listen, had a mind blank for a second. I went to the girl floors. I said, damn, if she put this damn camera up one more time on them damn floors and I see Kool-Aid cup stains on them damn floors, you can't have no all white house and can't keep it clean. Stop. But anyway, back to the point. That's my point. My point is that these two are willing to lie, steal, create diversions, let y'all know that they going through a divorce, tell y'all that they're dating, tell her that, oh, I'm having these babies by myself, and Safari was there the entire time right beside to keep the lie going. They are no different than Kirk and Rashida Frost, okay? And Tasha and Shaq, when we was like 25, 26, we needed them stamps to come through so we could eat steak and crab legs. Then they stopped giving us crab legs on the EBT, and I had to go. I had to stop. But did I lie? Did I lie? Listen, happily ever after, okay? There's no season on. And so give it a few more months. When Love and Hip Hop starts to film again, they're going to be fighting, fake fighting again. Because remember, these two was doing OnlyFans together. They doing a reality show together. And the only thing they're known for is fucking celebrities for a come up. But now they fucked everybody. So how do you go higher than, like, I mean, you can go higher than fucking Nicki Minaj, but it's like you went there and then you went all the way down, okay, to America's Slut. Right here. Right here. This is what you born. This is what you do. And then you marry her because she's willing. You call it ride or die. But no, this is literally who they are the same. They are the same. Okay? No different. You know, her hair ain't real. His hair ain't real. You understand? Willing to sell anything. Watch, I'm telling you, this is just the ultimate mindfuck, just so, okay? Just so they can keep the mortgage up on that house that they got illegally anyway, because they ain't had no taxes when they ain't filed no taxes to even get the house. It's all about who you know in Georgia. Moving on. Listen, what we got coming up? What do we have coming up? Nene Leakes. Oh, I'm about to drag the widow. Okay, I really am. I have my reasons. Okay, I have my reasons. I don't bother this lady. I don't say nothing. But what I saw the other day, I said, now you not going to do Greg like that, and he ain't even rotten yet. Stop. Travis Scott. Okay? Will and Jada. And stay tuned, because we are about to exclusively break down for the first ever on Unwind with Tasha K and on the internet. Sorry, the fans don't like me, okay? What really went down in that R.Kelly circle, okay? We have R.Kelly's manager, well, not manager, okay, consultant Don Russell, who went in, figured everything out, and he's going to lay it all out for us, okay? So stay tuned. We got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means boldly raise a glass to. Let's go. Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot of the olive leaf extract, because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine. Listen, I know that life has been kicking all of our ass lately, but you do not have to look like it. Walking around with dark circles like I used to, acne, hyperpigmentation from not wearing that sunscreen, but nah, knock all of that out, adjust your crown, and return your skin to goddess status with Regal Rose Club. Purchase their vegan skincare cleanser, moisturizer, and mask using the link below. It's all made with organic and natural premium herbs. Get your glow back with Regal Rose Club. I've got the perfect way for you to boss up on your sea moss. Bioforce by Embrace Pangea is all the benefits of sea moss put in an easy-to-take capsule. Sea moss is already nature's vitamin, so with those benefits plus burdock root, plus moringa, plus bladder wax, you'll have a better immune health across the board, plus a shit ton of energy within seconds. Visit EmbracePangea.com for your well-deserved boost with Bioforce, because you deserve it. And don't forget to use your coupon code TASHA-K for 10% off your first order.
Leah's uncle.
Right.
Okay. What was that relationship like, and what did you see given your time with him?
Barry was a man doctor.
Lifetime contributed heavily to the investigation that was opened against your brother. Your brother was going to pay you a fee to say that it was you.
When I had a videotape on Robert Sylvester Kelly, I did not. I was my brother's keeper.
There was a conversation we had about your brother R.Kelly impregnating his niece. Is that true? What if they were to say that the reason you weren't around is because you were a snake yourself?
Interview. This third part is going to be exclusively shown after a Curry Friday, okay, on the app. You got to go to TashaKLive.com to sign up, then download the app, add your password for 12 hours. I will see y'all at the watch party after Friday night show for that R.Kelly exclusive, and believe me, it's powerful. And speaking of exclusives, okay, I got my thumper nickel. Anyway, speaking of exclusives, Don Russell. Now, you know that Summer Walker's album is trending right now, and she literally read him and his sorry ass mammy. Now, Don Russell, if you are on my app, okay, you guys heard everything that he had to say about Miss Cheryl Mack, okay, who is the mother to London on the track, okay? During this interview that we're going to be playing here shortly, okay, it was a lot. It was so much that I'm going to have to do an extension of the video just to break down just how involved she was and still is with R. Kelly's empire, okay? And so stay tuned for that. Mr. Don Russell will be coming up here exclusively in just after the next commercial break, all right? Now, with that being said, we got Nene Leakes. Now, Nene. Now, this may come out real harsh because she's a widow. And, I don't typically like to cover especially recent death, but since she don't give a fuck, neither do I, okay? And I've always known she's never gave a fuck. That's the problem. There was just a lot of things that I've witnessed over the years with her between Nene and Greg. And so recently, she did an interview with The Real, and she spoke about, of course, first of all, a couple days before that, she was dragging the housewife. They only sent me one bouquet of flowers, a $200 bouquet of flowers together. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why they sent it, okay? Because she didn't give a shit about him. That woman, the only reason Nene ever married Greg both times was for, one, to feed her insecurities. She's a tall bitch, okay? Men don't want to bend her over. That's a lot of back. That's a lot to bend over. Now, I know y'all going to be like, Tasha, listen, wait for it, okay? Just wait. Bear with me here, okay? Nene met Greg in a strip club, okay? Greg was a trick. Met Nene thought, okay, he insecure enough, he fat, he got some money, I'm tall, you know what I'm saying? She took an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Married him, he married her within 6 months, he was stripping, took her out the club, and brought her to the place that she is now, okay? So you gotta understand, there was no love there. You don't fall in love with your trick. She just didn't want nobody else to get the trick. And she saw that Greg was an easy one, okay? And it took her out the hood. You know what I'm saying? It was a life-changing moment for her. White women do it every day. So am I hating? No. But this is where it gets really fucked up. So Greg puts her on, shows her how to do real estate, shows her how to do a lot of things, okay? She ain't got to use that long-ass back and flat ass no more to try to make money. You know what I'm saying? She done found somebody that was stupid enough to marry, okay? Now, they married. She is desperately wants, okay, and uses a lot of the money that he's made to make herself and brand herself into what they call a socialite. A socialite is someone who pays to get into a circle so that they can have access to more, right? This was her plan. So she got into the party. She was able to get, close to the producers here in Atlanta. And so when they were shooting that Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? She instantly heard about it and wanted a spot on that show, okay? Got on the show. Cuss bitches out left and right. Was the Nene that she was? Everybody fell in love with that. Oh my God, she's a real bitch. She don't care. No, she don't care. Nobody cared about her. So why should she care? She grew up with nobody giving a fuck about her. She grew up with having to, strip just to get men to fall in love with her. Give me a second. I need my hat. I gotta find my hat for real. I'm gonna find my hat. It is somewhere up there in that closet. Anyway, so she gets to the height. She goes to Broadway, okay? Goes to Broadway, working in Hollywood, cussing Real Housewives, franchise. I don't need you. I can do this by myself. Went to Hollywood. Hollywood gave her right back. Now, we're done. We're good. She went back to the Housewives, divorced Greg, okay? Divorced Greg because she got a little money. And she never really had men. Like, it was the same mentality. Like, she used her body to lure men in. But this time it was her money. Because it definitely wasn't her damn looks that lured men in, okay? And these men were what they call, what do you call them type of men? I got it on the tip of my tongue. They sell their bodies and stuff like that. They gigolo, okay? Gigolo, okay? So when she found out quickly how I'm this, I don't need Greg no more. I can do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? Divorces Greg. Thinking that she was really going to get out here and get the man, the arm candy man of her dreams, but none of them wanted to really be seen with her. At all. And she's dated some men in some nice careers, but at the end of the day, you're access, okay? You're what Portia Williams is doing right now. Like, you just ain't, and I gotta give it to her, like, she didn't want that life, because she knew what she would have been, okay? She would have been marrying brokes, ones who's hiding their finances, ones that are investing in her, but they ain't got it like that. Greg got money. Okay, Greg got money. Greg still got money, okay? Even though he ain't even right in the ground while she on the reel talking about Peter introduced me to somebody. And, if you're in my DM, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. You need to go shoot them flowers down there to the gravesite. That's what you need to go do, okay? That's what you need to do. That man has family. That man has kids that's watching you. There's a reason why they never fucked with you, okay, at all. All right? Because they knew what you was about. Now, you can say, oh, but she remarried him. She remarried him when she quickly saw that nobody wanted to bend this bitch over every night and tell her where they're going and answer questions. And not only that, you want to talk shit to me and make me feel like you better than me. Oh, she quickly saw, you know what, let me carry my tall Amazonian ass back, okay? Greg ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I know where he at. And that's an old saying. That's an old saying, okay? Women out here, they love chasing men that's in the street. But when the man want to stay home, because that's the first thing, it's like, is he beating you? No. What? Okay, you want to leave? Is he? And that's what my mama would ask me, my grandmama. If I said I wanted to leave somebody like Greg, is he beating you? Mm-mm. Well, is he talking shit to you? Mm-mm. Is he in the streets? No. Well, what you leaving for? I gotta find me No, she had a vision that since she was the top housewife, she wanted the top arm candy. But when she saw what that looked like, that arm candy don't necessarily translate to dollars, and it don't feel good having to pull out your credit card or even having to say as a black woman, I'm going to leave black men alone because, you know, they all gigolo, so the white man got the good credit. This is where I'm going to go. Then you realize they just ain't big enough to reach your big ass. You want to carry your ass back. And now you want to have a wedding of your dreams. You want to have a dream special. And Greg, because he know her. He knew who he married. He took her ass right back. He knew she was going to come back. He knew she was going to. You mine. I don't care what nobody say. You mine. Jerry curl juice all over the damn sheets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I can let my soul glow. That's why I had to get rid of that natural hair, because I was messing up some good sheets, okay? All them damn hair products, I said, I can't do this. This is too much. I'm breaking out. You know what I'm saying? I can't. No, I had to let it go, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to let it go. I'm done. Those days are over. But listen, maybe when I'm like 50, 60, I'll go back. But right now, no. When I got somebody changing my sheets every day, I change them once a week. I'm old school. Okay, back. So, Greg ain't even been dead a month. You're online screaming. They ain't bring me no flowers. They ain't bringing no flowers because they knew you didn't give a fuck. They knew you didn't care. You used his death as public sympathy, okay? And as soon as he kicked rocks, you list the house. First of all, as a widow that loves their husband, and this is where we had memories, why would I be selling our house? His spirit, this is where he died. Why would I be selling my house? Because she didn't care. She didn't want, I'm telling you, she don't want no parts of that shit. And that's why she's on the real talking about, I want to go back to Housewives. I miss it. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm not going to sue you. You're not all of those F words that I called you. You're not that anymore. I miss the baby. And shoot your shot. You're done. You're done. You have literally fucked over everybody that has helped you. You're done. Those days are over. Eat up the interviews, because like I said, when she didn't even take in a lot that was taught to her, everybody that works alongside of me, they learning every motherfucking thing. Because even if, like, this train stopped, which it ain't, or you don't want to be on this train no more, you can go and apply what you done learned here somewhere else, but she can't even do that. All she hollering is lawsuits. Let me sell a house so I can make some money and go move into a townhouse. Now, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. I don't give a fuck. Moving on. Who next? Now, Jennifer Lopez is supposed to be happy, right? You're supposed to be living out very happily ever after. You got the man that you've always wanted. Again, I'm just trying to figure out where we're going with this story, because it was shocking. It was utterly disgusting to me, and I just can't believe that. Like us, we ain't. Have you ever heard of Wesley Snipes taking anything from a woman, or inappropriately touching a woman, or whatever it is that you would call violating anybody's civil rights, human rights, whatever? Okay, have you ever heard of it? In his entire career, we heard of bad taxes, we heard of him cussing things out, we done heard of it all. Have you ever heard of such things? Okay. J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, I think I'm gonna have to bring her. I'm gonna have to do a come to Jesus moment here for a second, okay? Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, where are we going with this story? So she's new in Hollywood. She's acting, okay? She's done movies with Wesley Snipes. She's done movies with Ben Affleck. She met Ben Affleck on the set. Hold that thought. So when you do your first role, and it's a lovemaking role with one of the hottest actors in Hollywood, Wesley Snipes was on top, okay? He was on top. He was our black superhero. He was our Black Panther, okay? This is what he was doing. And I don't like nobody coming for that legacy, because it seems as soon as a black man gets to a certain level, where are we coming? Where are we going? So now J-Lo, who has literally opened her legs to any black man on top there is, and white. She don't discriminate, okay? All right? Move from block to block. Now all of a sudden, he made you feel uncomfortable and inappropriately touched you during a love-making scene. So you're doing a love-making scene with an actor who has years of experience under his belt. So when he does a love-making scene, it has to seem like it's real, but because you was new and you didn't think that you had to, I've never to get this part. So why should I have to, I'm J-Lo, kiss you to do a movie? This is what you got to do. This is what you signed up for. So how does somebody inappropriately kiss you or touch you during a sex scene? Jasmine, what do they do to that?
I guess on Jenny's block.
Oh, okay. That one. Okay. Now, I had to think about this. I said, why is she telling us this? Why are you telling us that? First of all, yeah, I know you was a fly girl. You know, you used, because it sure was not talent. Okay? It sure was not talent, all right? She is our modern day Milli Vanilli. This is exact. J-Lo is a Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli wasn't no ugly dudes, okay? I know they ain't like no women's, but they still wasn't no ugly dudes, okay? She's not an ugly woman. She can dance. She has a lot of qualities that Hollywood wanted, but she just didn't have the voice. And she sure didn't have the voice back then, because I'm like, why didn't you use that voice to speak up? To say that Wesley Snipes inappropriately touched you on a movie set and made you feel uncomfortable during a love-making scene. You didn't use it because you didn't have a damn voice to fucking use like you don't now. You untalented asshole. Let me move. I can't do this. Why you didn't use the voice then? Because you didn't want to kill your career. You wanted to keep catfishing us. That's what you wanted. J-Lo is the biggest catfish there is. Ashanti's voice on your album, and you claiming that this is you? So you want to dance the entire time and not sing, thinking that you're the Latins, Janet Jackson, but Janet can hold a note. There's a difference. Janet can hold a note. You are what do they call them women in Hollywood? See, I've been forgetting a lot of words tonight. That's why I had to go to commercial break. I had to take a break the first time, because I'm like, you are, like I said, a Milli Vanilli. You're someone that people, no, I'm not going to say that. I can't. What do you do when you don't have no talent? What do you do? So somebody gives you a role. You get a role with one of Hollywood's biggest actors who has been nothing but professional on every set. There's been no other women that have come out to say anything about him. The only people that have come for him are the IRS, and you trying to start a mini Me Too movement like we give a fuck. I don't care. If you didn't use your voice back then to say something, don't use your voice now, because you ain't never used that bitch before, okay? And with that being said, we got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means Bowley Razor Glass 2. I'll be right down back. Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot of the olive leaf extract, because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine. Listen, I know that life has been kicking all of our ass lately, but you do not have to look like it. Walking around with dark circles like I used to, acne, hyperpigmentation from not wearing that sunscreen, knock all of that out, adjust your crown, and return your skin to goddess status with Regal Rose Club. Purchase their vegan skincare cleanser, moisturizer, and mask using the link below. It's all made with organic and natural premium herbs. Get your glow back with Regal Rose Club. I've got the perfect way for you to boss up on your sea moss. Bioforce by Embrace Pangea is all the benefits of sea moss put in an easy-to-take capsule. Sea moss is already nature's vitamin, so with those benefits plus burdock root, plus moringa, plus bladderwrack, you'll have a better immune health across the board, plus a shit ton of energy within seconds. Visit EmbracePangea.com for your well-deserved boost with Bioforce, because you deserve it. And don't forget to use your coupon code TASHAK for 10% off your first order.
Leah's uncle.
Right.
Okay. What was that relationship like, and what did you see given your time with him?
Barry was a mind doctor.
Lifetime contributed heavily to the investigation that was opened against your brother. Your brother was going to pay you a fee to say that it was you.
When I had a videotape on Robert Sylvester Kelly, I did not. I was my brother's keeper.
There was a conversation we had about your brother R.Kelly impregnating his niece. Is that true? What if they were to say that the reason you weren't around is because you were a snake yourself?
We're back. Be sure, okay? After Friday Night's Live, y'all need to be subscribed to TashaKLive.com to see that exclusive interview with R.Kelly on our site, okay? It's $12 to access it, and the $12 is unlimited content. So you get to browse stuff that you maybe not even had, or you can just cancel it right after, all right? And so we're having our watch party right after Agree Friday now. Hey, Teddy, I ain't even said nothing to Teddy the whole time.
They talking about why he got a diaper on.
Teddy got a diaper on. You'll see. We have a good reason for that, okay? Stay tuned. We have a good reason, okay? Travis! We coming up here yelling and shit. Should have been yelling when them people was passing out and stuff like that. Don't be, I'm coming up here with that energy comp. I don't want no negative energy. Yeah, fire and stuff behind you. I don't want it. Anyway, so Travis Scott's in a bit of a tiff, you know? I'm going to be honest with you. Now, my heart and prayers really go out to the Latin community. Now, I know I just dragged one of your own. However, this is real life, okay? I know a lot of people are trying to label these people as, like, white or somehow, you know, there was no black people out there. It was black, and it was full of Latinas, okay? And at Astroworld, okay? This took place in Texas. I mean, Latina capital, all right? So I don't want anybody out here trying to say otherwise that, oh, you know, this is white people, they're messing with. No, it's Latin people that have succumbed, okay, and unfortunately passed on, okay, and so I'm gonna tread lightly on this topic. Now, I do feel like there shouldn't have been. I have kids, and my kids have yet to go to a concert because, one, they have no business at concerts, okay? A lot of things go on at these concerts and have been for a long time, okay? Like Woodstock, okay? And all the heroin and shrooms and LSD. And we're going to talk about that in our next topic, all right, in just a second. So hold that thought on there, all right? And so people have been dying and passing out and getting trampled on and being squeezed to death for years at concerts, okay? There's actual concert research. You can Google it, okay? Crowd research is what they call it, okay? How to control a crowd. That's why we have fire marshals. That's why we have police chiefs to approve or disapprove how many people can congregate in one area. And so being that it's outside, you still have to have crowd control parameters. And I think it's real unfair if a fire marshal shuts down the club because it's overpacked, okay? They don't have proper code, fire extinguishers, anything to where within a certain amount of distance you can get to safety, then guess what? The venue doesn't happen, all right? Live Nation is a pretty reputable company. They are politically tied to, okay, the politicians in the city in which certain things are going to happen, okay? And so they can easily slide it back to a police chief and say, don't worry about how many people are coming. But now that he's had almost 50,000 people congregate in one space, and you didn't think that at least given the world that we live in with all the threats, all of everything that's going on, that there was going to be some type of mass hysteria that was going to happen and cause people to get hurt? Did you not think that even being packed in that crowd, that anything could happen, and guess what? You can't get out. That's why I'm gonna be honest with you. I have what they call crowd anxiety. I get crowd anxiety. When I go to concerts, I was just at that Legends of the South concert. Everybody was like, why are you so far away? I'm in a skybox. I'm in a private skybox with bulletproof glass, okay? And if something were to blow up down there, I got a private exit to get out and ain't nobody messing with me, okay? Now, I know everybody can't afford that, but you can. If it's 10 of y'all going to the concert and everybody put in on the skybox, you get free, you get alcohol included, you get wings included, you get salmon, you get salads, you get, you know what I'm saying, crackers and popcorn, all of that is in the skybox. You get cell phone chargers, a lot better stuff than what you would get being on the floor, okay? So that's another reason why I choose to do a Sky Plus. I mean, y'all do it for these VIP sections. When I see how the bottles, the sections and stuff in Atlanta to sit down, you got to pay $3,000 to sit down. I will stand. I will stand. But y'all got creative with that. And bought, you know, us 10 of us, everybody get $300 a piece. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this section and we're going to split all the bottles and we're going to look like we balling. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the only ones. They only put 6 couches in a place that holds almost 3,000 to 4,000 people. Ridiculous, okay? And so this was, I know, they didn't have skyboxes here. They didn't have a VIP situation, but I don't think parents should have had any children there. And I don't think personally, if children can't go and watch rated R movies, they call every time my daughter want to go see a movie, I got to go in there and let her in, okay? I have to physically say I'm the adult. I go let her in, and then I go back to the house because it's around the corner. She's with her friends, okay? They're watching a movie, all right? If they're karting at 18, why would parents be allowed to bring a child into a concert where they're doing drugs? We've seen Woodstock. We've seen Coachella. We've seen Burning Man, okay? We've seen Michael Jackson concerts. People left on stretchers. When they came to Michael Jackson's concerts, they left on stretchers. So what makes you think that you was just going to take your kid and he was going to get to see Travis Scott once in a lifetime and make it out okay? Like they wasn't going to see nothing. Every time I took my daughter to the South Beach for the first time during spring break, and she couldn't believe it. They was out there acting a fool. I said, see, this is life. This is life. A girl had done got drugged, you know what I'm saying, by a man, and, you know, she was out on the street. She done turned into, you know, whatever they put in her. She turned into the Incredible Hulk. It's just a mess. Something will always go down. And the one thing that I told my daughter, because, see, that day she almost got strip slapped out of her. Because when the girl was having a bad trip, my daughter run towards the crowd. Leaves me with the bad. Her and her friend, because they want to see what's going on because the police and the girl fighting. I said, what if somebody would have pulled out a gun? What if somebody would have, like, what if a car came running through the crowd and you following a crowd because you want to see what's going on and everybody got a cell phone out and all you had to do was Google later what the hell happened? I dare you to do it again. Like I told her, I dare you to do it again. I'm going to drop you right here like this crowd would have dropped you. I got real bold that day, okay? Call CPS. I don't care. Now, I don't play those games. I'm a parent first. Now, I'm not saying they were parents, but I don't think this is a festival for nowhere that children need to be. And now, if you're an adult and something happened, you knew what the risks were. Now, I don't believe that there was somebody pricking people, because all of a sudden the security guard got pricked in the neck and they was able to find the hole in the neck and said that this is what caused everybody to start running, to not take responsibility as fire marshals, to control the crowd, something that you guys are put in place to do? Man, fuck out of here. And for him, if I was Travis, I wouldn't refund nobody nothing. Nothing. That's what I got insurance for. He already losing money, time. I know y'all don't care, but this is a business. He got people working for him. You know what I'm saying? He done built his whole network on everything, and he should lose everything. Michael Jackson didn't lose nothing. The people like Coachella, they ain't lose nothing. But you don't hear about that kind of stuff. But as soon as he throws on something so big, and people are rolling out of there, losing their life, all of a sudden, yep, he ain't gonna do it see what happens. And these festivals take place year-round. But you just don't hear. And them people be getting high out their mind, jumping off cars, catching the artists. This ain't new. So you know what it is when you go to a concert. You know. And let's be honest, he got fire in the back. He got earplugs in. He got music loud as hell. You think he can hear somebody screaming at him? You think he hears somebody screaming at him talking about stop the concert? People try to stop the show all the time. You keep going. These people done came to hear you and stopping him. He didn't hear nothing. I truly believe when he says he didn't hear nothing because there's footage online that shows him stopping concerts before to help people. This was so big, 50,000 people. You can't hear when 8 people out of 50,000 people are down. There's no way he will be able to see it. And I just think it's crazy that he's even taking responsibility for this, because the moment you buy the ticket is the moment you assume responsibility for your own life. And if you're a parent taking your damn child to a concert, you know when the hell goes down. And with that being said, I ain't got to go, but I'll be right back. I ain't got to go nowhere. Damn. Shit. Moving on. I was literally about to walk out. I hate them. They remind me of, you remember that show Coneheads? Oh, it was not a TV show. It was a movie called Cone. That's what I hate them. I have never hated a family more than I hate the Smiths. And listen to me. You know, I'm gonna have to side with Future. You know, because out of everybody, Jada seems to be the most real. You know, you got Will Smith. Now I got his book. It's coming. You got Will Smith out here saying that, oh, you know, as a public figure, I almost wanted to kill my dad. Okay, as a public figure, has hella children following him, and I'm like, what publicist cleared you to say this? You are on your way down the Bill Cosby lane. Wait for it. I don't wish that on him. I don't, but I don't understand a publicist that would even allow you to put that out there, because let me tell you what happens. So a kid that has a parent that they necessarily don't like hears Will Smith, someone that they look up to, say that he could have killed his parent and got away with it and would have put on a grand acting scheme. It gets better. I was jealous of Tupac. I was jealous, even though him and Jada never fucked. They loved each other. They grew up together, but they never fucked. I was jealous of him. I used to fuck Jada 8 times a day, and it was my mission that I was going to please this bitch because I was jealous of Tupac. I said, no. I really do miss the rumor days. I do. But, you know, in my line of work, they're not rumors anymore because, you know, we're on the phones with first-hand, second-hand, third-hand sources, okay? So, unfortunately, that's out the door. It's all this, it's gone. I really miss it because I'm like, Will, listen, Will. As, I used to work in PR, so as, you know, an publicist assistant, saying that you were determined to please Jada is saying that you never pleased her. And when you separated in 2011 and you went to a tantra doctor and you had to envision women that you wanted to satisfy, the reason you and Jada split, it wasn't because you couldn't make each other happy. It's because you couldn't make her happy with your dick. Other way. I gotta go the other way. I just gotta go the other way. Give me a second. I have to regroup. I'm like, who's reading in between the lines for you? Is this what being real is about? Is it your book? Your book is supposed to inspire what? For me to go get a sex doctor? Even though that does sound interesting. I went to check. I was like, you think anybody can make it better for us? I mean, we'll go together. You ain't gotta go by yourself. We'll go together. Now listen. Won't nobody in there taking pictures in my private session with my husband, okay? The doctor's like, touch her here. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. He said, touch me right there. Listen. So he had to go. He had to go because being able to not please your woman does cause insecurity, okay? And Jada, there was no way he would be able to please Jada because Jada was a sex addict. When you're a sex addict, it's not about anybody pleasing you because you can't please your damn self. You understand what I'm saying? When you're a sex addict, you're a slave to your sexual desires, so it doesn't matter who it is, okay? And so for him to even remotely think that somehow your wife was in love with a man she never fucked, Jada never fucked Tupac. Put this picture down for a second. Teddy. I know you got a diaper on, but listen. Do you think in your heart of hearts that Tupac and Jada Pinkett, as much as she's cried over him, you know, we've cut a lot of, do you think personally that Tupac never hit? He don't even want to say nothing because he know it's bullshit. The reason they didn't tell Will is because they know that Will is an insecure little dick shit, okay? They didn't tell Will that. Tupac wasn't a marrying type, and frankly, he wasn't going to marry Jada because he knew that Jada's pussy she had no control over. It was for the shit. It was for the streets. Okay? That's exactly what that was. Dick to Jada. Jada was a heroin needle to her mama. That's exactly what that shit was. Addiction comes in different forms. I'm not laughing. I'm just telling you the truth. And Tupac didn't want that problem, so he gave that right all over the Will. But if you think, Will, that you're going to die, okay, because let me tell you something. A woman will die. A woman will die. You will never know who she done fucked. Men out here thinking that their wife would have never done it. And how she gonna be in love with somebody you never fucked? You really think in your heart of hearts Tupac ain't beat the brakes off of Jada, and that's why to this day he dead and gone. She still motherfucking crying. She cried over that dick. That's what dick do to you. See what I'm saying? That's what good dick do to you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I just couldn't believe that he believed it. I couldn't. And then she made him feel insecure. And the fact that he even thought that it was him that wasn't able to please Jada. And she has you taking your ass, you done build her a whole house. And she said, I don't want a house. I want dick. I want multiple dick because your dick is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. He builds her a whole house, gives her everything, and still has to wind up taking his ass to report to class every week like something was wrong with him just so he can please the bitch. And this was recent, 2011 now. That's not too long ago. That's 10 years ago. Okay, 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's why she said, you stay your ass on that side of the house. I'm going to stay my ass on this side of the house. And you fuck who you want to fuck. But we going to be married because, bitch, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I want. I mean, I got to give it to her. I really got to give it to her. Respectfully, I would rather hang with Jada. Will could have had anybody he wanted to have, but Jada, he said Jada had a lot. Remember I told you Jada was a pastoral type? She knew how to talk to your soul. And he said in his book, like I'm going to read the book, but just the different quotations with his interview with Oprah and stuff like that, you know, we would talk. Jada knows how to mind fuck me. We could talk for 4 hours. And she stimulates me mentally. It's hard. Men fall in love. You find a man that's real handsome and he got an ugly bitch just because that bitch know how to fuck and she know how to talk. This is Jada, but Jada was beautiful. And you notice I said was. Okay? Looking like she doing, I don't wish it on nobody, chemotherapy right now. Now, there was something real interesting that just happened. And the reason I say I hate them. I do, because they pretended to be America's family, the black family that everybody looked up to, the successful black family, and yet we got kids emancipating themselves at 16 because they can't stand to look at how pathetic their parents are, okay? Your father's a bitch crying, and your mother's a hoe. And they're going to try to tell you how to be a damn man. And Willow don't know what in the fuck she likes. She likes any and everything. She don't give a fuck. No boundaries. No boundaries. Now, just recently an article hit. Now this why the government feds not gonna like me, because I'm about to put this out here, okay? Now, I saw something that was real disturbing. It was real dangerous, okay? I just explained it to my staff. My damn nose itching, damn allergies and shit fucking with me, so bear with me. But the Neighborhood Talk posted an article. I don't watch Red Table Talk. I can't get through it. I can't watch Jada say right the whole time. Right. And I did that because that's how it's supposed to happen. Right. I can't watch the whole family say right the whole time. I cannot do it. So I would just respectfully listen to the clips. Now, this particular show was very disturbing. Jaden was a part of the segment. Now, I'm going to break this segment down to you, okay? Just wait for it. Gammy was a part of the segment, and Jada was a part of the segment. And they highlighted, this is how you know Jada is a piece of shit. This is how dangerous it is. Like, I've never used the term bed wench before. Until now. And just bear with me here, because I'm about to bring it all home for y'all. So they do a show, and Jaden is the highlight. They got the aura. Jaden's a black boy. He's a successful boy doing a lot of great things for society. And for your mother to exploit you the way that she did, it shows why he wanted to be emancipated, because frankly, she is not capable of being human, of not even remotely being what a mother is supposed to be. This is what you're not supposed to aspire to be, okay? Now, they do an episode on psychedelics. Psychedelics is big pharma companies creating using hallucinogenic herbs, plants and stuff like shrooms to cure mental illness, right? So they are taking something that people have been taking for years. The Indians, the Latin, the Mexicans, whatever. Native Americans, sorry about that. No offense. I'm just saying, we learned Indians in high school, so I got to come up to date with the new terminology, okay? And so shrooms that they've been taking, the new word for, THC is cannabis. There's got all these words. So shrooms is psychedelics. That's what they call it, right? And so, they do a show, and Jada was like, I cured my depression with the use of psychedelics. 30-minute show. I was very depressed. You were depressed because you couldn't find dick. She had to go get vaginal rejuvenation because she could not take any more dick because she had too much. We had too much. Don't be surprised in the next 10 years, niggas just start popping out the ring, right? Boom, 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 okay? Don't be surprised. Now, I use psychedelics. Instead of saying shrooms, first of all, black people say shrooms. Everybody say shrooms. Psychedelics, think about it here for a second. Just think about it. To cure depression, I was so depressed at one time, and psychedelics, taking shrooms, something that gives you a bad trip, cured my depression. Of course it cured your depression because you was out of your fucking mind. You was tripping. So how could you be depressed when your ass was up and high? Okay? Now, Jaden says, I currently use psychedelics because it just helps me to figure out who I am. It helps me to leave my ego self alone and come into who I am. And then Gammy says, well, back in the day, we used to do shrooms, at the parties and stuff, when we ran out of heroin. So we would do shrooms. But I just wonder, given me being a heroin addict for 20 years, if I just worry about Jaden because it could effectively, be addictive. No, it doesn't. It helps me to be a better person, and I'm no longer depressed. And Jaden, I'm figuring out who I am. I find that I have power through this. Of course, that's what LSD, that's what acid does. That's what shrooms do. We don't do that. They don't do that. Okay, not even close. And so let me tell you what has happened. So I'm like, who uses the term psychedelics? I had to go Google. And you know what I Googled when I saw it? You can Google it right now. Google psychedelics, and you're going to see the first article that comes up. Google. Right now, please, go. Okay? And what you're going to find is that on the day that the show was released, the day before, no, the day after, sorry, the day after, the show was released. I'm trying to, wait a minute, hold on. I think I'm having a bad trip. Wait a minute. It's the psychedelics. Give me a second. They zapping me right now. There is a pharmaceutical company who has been conducting research on the use of shrooms in possibly curing depression, okay? Now, too much shrooms will cause a person to be suicidal because when you have such a bad trip, okay, you don't know what you're doing. And there's so many children, okay? There's so many children out here or parents who have lost their children because these kids are taking these hallucinogenic drugs. They did it at Woodstock, did it at Astroworld, do it at Coachella, do it at Burning Man, and Michael Jackson concerts. This is something that's been going on for so long. And let me tell you, there's nothing good about doing shrooms, okay? But nothing but a bad trick. Rock stars like to do them. People in Hollywood, this is what they like to do. And so what happens? Hollywood is the staple of the drug trade. Okay, drugs, sex, everything. That's where it all bursts there, okay? And just spreads out. How can we make this okay? So they've been conducting research for the last 3 years on shrooms. And so investors, billionaires, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Will and Jada. I was trying to find who were the partners, but a lot of them have silent partners. And so I really think they have vested interest in this company because why would you dedicate a 30-minute show to billions of followers? Facebook has and they're pushing the show to basically out the blue sit down and admit that y'all have drug problems or addictions to shrooms. Okay, and you're as a mother, you're gonna sit there and say, yeah, it's good for you, son. Yeah, keep doing it, keep getting high. And then, you know, if you jump off that bridge, that was your purpose. Yeah. So the company who has created the research for shrooms, because they're trying to introduce shrooms in place of Prozac. Anybody took Prozac? I have. I've taken Zoloft, I've taken Prozac, zaps the brain. It's literally like somebody sitting there with a damn when you take that pill and they press the remote, boom, and you go. That's exactly what happens. I'd be sitting in class and I said, I ain't taking this shit no more. No more. Wasn't nothing wrong with me. I just talk too much. Ain't wasn't nothing wrong with me, okay? But you know, they love to place a label on the child that doesn't like to follow the protocol, okay? All them teachers that told me I wasn't gonna be shit, I ain't shit. But anyway, and so they're trying to use shrooms in place of Prozac, okay? Because they're running out of synthetic material and plant material because of, I'm about to give y'all a little education here because of all the farmland, you know, global warming, it's a whole thing, okay? And so we need something that we can grow in a lab, okay, and treat in place of these drugs. And so tell me, how can shrooms cure depression? How? So this is just another way. Right? They made money off of tobacco. They're making money now off of cannabis. So we're gonna make money off of something that has a very high black market rate. And so we're now gonna bring it public, but we need research to show the FDA so that we can go ahead and pass this shit to your kids. So instead of giving your kids or these adults Prozac, we give you shrooms, and we use the black face of America to say that this is the cool thing to do. They could have picked all the white families they wanted to, okay? But no. The Smiths are the staple of what the black family should be. And if the Smiths are successful, if the Smiths have millions of dollars in the bank, if Will is one of the top actors, then him and his son and his wife saying that they use shrooms in order to find their purpose, to find themselves, then guess what? We need silent investors to funnel this, but when research shows that there's only a 1% chance that shrooms cure depression and 10% chance of your child or an adult having a bad trip and jumping out of a building, and their stock drops 16%, and all these investors are thinking about pulling out or selling their stock, Google it. What do? You go to the Smiths, the brand that everybody, the family that everybody wants wants to be and tell them to tell your family and kids that shrooms is the way to go if you want to get rid of depression. Just jump off a motherfucking building, okay? When you take the shit. I'll be right back after the break. Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot of the olive leaf extract, because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and it has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine. Listen, I know that life has been kicking all of our ass lately, but you do not have to look like it. Walking around with dark circles like I used to, acne, hyperpigmentation from not wearing that sunscreen, but nah, knock all of that out, adjust your crown, and return your skin to goddess status with Regal Rose Club. Purchase their vegan skincare cleanser, moisturizer, and mask using the link below. It's all made with organic and natural premium herbs. Get your glow back with Regal Rose Club. I've got the perfect way for you to boss up on your sea moss. BioForce by Embrace Pangea is all the benefits of sea moss put in an easy-to-take capsule. Sea moss is already nature's vitamin, so with those benefits plus burdock root, plus moringa, plus bladder wax, you'll have a better immune health across the board, plus a shit ton of energy within seconds. Visit EmbracePangea.com for your well-deserved boost with BioForce, because you deserve it. And don't forget to use your coupon code TASHAK for 10% off your first order. And we're back, guys. Please don't forget, all right? BioForce is literally sea moss in a capsule, okay? So for those of y'all that don't have time to make, sea moss at the house because it's very time consuming, please use the link below. You get 10% off, okay? Your first order with the Embrace Pangea's BioForce, okay? Don't forget to get you some olive leaf as well, okay? You know the holidays are coming up. Y'all gonna be eating. Y'all gonna be wanting to, lose the weight from what you eat, okay? Get that herb in you, okay, to help cleanse and detox and all that stuff and everything like that, okay? And don't forget, guys, we're going to see you before we play this interview, okay? Because we're about to go into the interview, and this is going to be the last you see me until Friday, okay? And so don't forget, guys, we're going to be doing our watch party Friday after the show with the R.Kelly interview on the app, okay? And this interview with Don Russell, okay? We are about to exclusively play the first inside look at R.Kelly's estate and empire and how it functioned and what ultimately led to his demise and why he's sitting in jail right now for racketeering, tax evasion, all that stuff, okay? And so the fans done roped that all in together, and you're going to get an exclusive inside look into how everything transpired. And when I tell you this interview is going to blow you away, it's going to blow you away, okay? And so thank you guys so much, all right, for tuning in tonight, all 12,000 of y'all. We are now about to play this interview right now on this channel. This is Don Russell x R.Kelly. Also, thank you to all the moderators. Please, no blocking, guys. If you have tips on your favorite celebrities, okay, please feel free to send me an email via unwinewithtashak@gmail.com. If you want to market, please feel free to send me an email via marketing@unwinewithtashak.com. Also, thank you to all of the viewers again. Thank you to my team that helps to make this show as great as it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and without further ado, I really hope that you enjoy this exclusive look. Like I said, I broke it all down, and now I'm gonna put it all back together for you, okay? And without further ado, I give you Don Russell. All right, let's go. You ready?
I am ready.
Okay. I have my phone out for a reason.
Okay.
Because I do not want to mess up or state something that's inaccurate, okay? According to what we've heard on the internet, okay? You are the Don Russell.
That's me in the flesh.
You have not done an interview.
No.
You are like a ghost mobster. As what we were under the impression from the Savages, from the Clarys, from a few of the parents that were trying to, quote, get their daughters back from R.Kelly. You were supposedly the monster, the Don, the gatekeeper to R.Kelly, and not allow them to see their parents or have any type of communication. And you were doing R. Kelly's dirty work, is what they were saying on the internet.
Can be farther from the truth.
Okay. Now, I do want to point out that you have been charged
Yes.
with 1 count of threatening physical harm by interstate communication, 1 count of conspiracy to threaten physical harm by interstate, well, that's the same thing, interstate communication, same shit. So yeah, I mean, is that right? Because I mean, the internet has a lot of things about you, but meeting you and talking to you and speaking with your family, like, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Right.
Even I've reported some inaccurate things about you. And that video is down right now. It is on private and it will not be public again, because I think it's only right that everybody that I talked about and that R.Kelly enablers video or expose should have the right to speak.
Right. I agree.
And I'm starting with you.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a good start.
No problem. Did I miss anything as far as like what you're being charged with?
No, it's two charges, for lack of a better word. And yeah, I mean, so that's, that's their tactics right now, to put pressure on, anybody that has the, that can be disrupted, disruptive. And I think, essentially more than anything, I'm a disruptor, more than someone that, has any interest in, attacking anybody. It's just like, you can't unsee things you've seen. You can't unhear things that you've heard. I've just been, for my, entire career, I've been put in places to hear things and see things that made me a value proposition in Rob's position. When I heard about what he was going through, and the first time I heard it was through the song "I Admit." I was headed back to Cali, and I heard.
We're talking about the R.Kelly, the Robert Kelly,
Sylvester
Grammy
Kelly.
Award
That's
winning,
right.
multi-Grammy Award winning
Yeah.
R.Kelly.
Right. Yeah, I heard the song. And let me, for the record, I knew him when we were street performers. We used to perform in the L stations together. And
so you're a performer yourself?
Yeah, tap dance. Believe it or not,
tap dancer.
The second best in the world.
Not Don the Mob.
Yeah.
You were a tap dancer.
Don. I was a tap dancing mobster.
Jazz,
right.
Like it was just like, you're threatening girls, you're stalking girls, you're intimidating witnesses, you're calling in bomb threats.
Wow.
Amazing. I know you remember the Lifetime premiere.
Yeah.
That was in New York. I think some rumors have been swirling around, and I don't think the feds have been able to make that stick, but that you were supposedly the one that called in the bomb threat.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to dive into particulars about the case, but I communicated with the venue. I communicated with Lifetime, and, my whole position on that was they were violating his copyrights and his trademarks.
Okay.
And that was what I was attempting to make them aware of in all capacities. So whatever happened, I mean, I thought we had a victory when it got shut down, because I, thought that maybe somebody that, was in a legal position had gotten hold of the, what I sent, which was drafted by an attorney. I was just the communicator.
Okay.
That articulated our side to them. And when they said it was shut down, I thought, that was good enough for me. I don't, if somebody's going to incite violence, they go that route. That's who they are. Yeah. But I've never been that person. It's like, no, use this. You've got a mind and a brain. You don't have to use these. So, without. Go ahead.
I've spoken to both Tim Savage and Angelo Clary and Jonjolyn Savage about you, and even James Mason. And the way you were painted to me, it was just like, well, who is this guy that's like making decisions for Rob, and and supposedly threatening the parents and threatening the girls, and and I think when the indictment came down for you, it kind of solidified a lot of the rumors that have been put out on the internet about you.
Right.
Rumors that I've repeated myself.
Right. Well, first, I never made decisions for Rob. You know, my whole thing from the very beginning was when I heard the song, and I literally went to the part about him being broke, him not owning his masters, because that was language that I understand. You know, if an artist doesn't own their masters, I know how that could have happened. You know, if an artist is broke, I've seen that. I mean, I was in the industry outside of the tap, dancing. When I actually moved to California, I got heavily into the music industry. And, I was managed by one of the greats, Dick Scott. God bless his soul, he's in heaven, because he's a great guy. But he had a lot of groups, and every group that he had went through some instance of, their career being halted because of theft and things of that nature. He died broke, after him making $800 million with New Kids on the Block and all that stuff. So my ears had been educated to certain things that an artist could go through to end up in the situation that Rob did. So when I heard, about him being broke, I went to the horse because I grew up with him. I'm like, listen, say it ain't so. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was like, he looked, it was people in the room. We went to the back to the studio. He closed the door and he just unloaded. And I'm like, wow.
Now, when you say unloaded, what was
he just told me everything that was going on in his career about his, not having any money, being broke, the allowances and everything. He just ran me through it for 3 hours. I mean, fortunately, I had on fucking short sleeves because I didn't have to roll up my sleeves at that point because it was just that serious. Like hearing that this guy that I idolized as an artist is in this position. Like everybody loved the good old R.Kelly song, outside of me having the personal connection. You put that on, things is gonna happen, his music, So to hear that from him was like, it really brought, like, it humbled the hell out of me. Because here it is, how people look at these celebrities and they think they can't be broken. Nothing can go wrong with them. Mm-hmm. But here, I'm directly connected to this situation. You know what I'm saying? This is the guy that I'm like, he done made it to the top of the mountain. They know, you don't come down from Mount Everest, So, to hear that from him, it was like, wow. So initially we made up the position because I'm running my own tech company at the time. I've got shareholders, we've raised capital on the markets and all that stuff. And I've got a staff, office in Chicago and California. So it was like, I can't come and manage you. And I didn't want to manage them anyway, because at the root of all the evil to me were managers. And I didn't want to be that. So we came up with consultant and advisor.
Let's talk about, before we get into what your position was or relationship was with Robert Kelly, who is known to the world as R.Kelly. Let's talk a little bit about your background, because I know you mentioned Dick Scott and him managing you and kind of really educating you on a lot of things. How long have you been in the music industry?
Okay, well, entertainment. Since I came out the womb. I came out tap dancing. Like, I was, it seems like it. 7 years old, we were street performing, me and my cousin. In the city of Chicago.
Can you still tap dance now?
It's some wooden floors. Yeah, I can still cut a rug. I ain't doing no flips though, but I can cut a rug. So anyway, so we started off. My mom, had this dream for us. We had an entertainment family. We owned grocery stores and nightclubs and stuff. So she had this dream that she wanted us to go have some tools to work with at a young age. And because I was so creative as a kid, tap was something she was passionate about. So she put us in tap, gymnastics, martial arts, and acting. So my childhood was just filled with that. You know what I mean? When we went to, tap shoes cost a lot of money. So, every time we doing a show, we cracking taps open. She like, that's another $100. And back then, that was a lot of bread, right? Yeah. So the Subway thing was the next thing, because where's a 7-year-old going to be able to go use his charm to get paid to buy tap shoes? So we went down there, me and my cousin, we tapped for probably about, from the age 7 up to about 20 something, that was our daily thing. We left school, got our bags, went tap, all of the festivals, the talent, the Taste of Chicago. We just look forward to that every year. So we were making thousands of dollars just tapping in the subway. And that's how I came across Rob, because we would fight over stops sometime. He would be on the odd end of Washington, and that was the hot spot. Like, at 4 o'clock, 5, rush hour was coming, and everybody want that odd end. So being that he wasn't in school and we would have to cut out before school to try to beat him down there. And he, I never forget the first time I heard him sing, it was the McDonald's song. He had a song about McDonald's. And every kid loved McDonald's. And the fact that he had a song about McDonald's is just like, wow. So I heard that song, and at that point I became a fan of R. Kelly. It was like, and he wasn't R. Kelly, he was Robert then. And it was like, wow, this dude really has some talent. And I'm making money giving him tips, you know, putting it in his tip jar and stuff. And we just became like cool. Like, you know what I mean? We became cool. It was like one of those respect for, you know, your classmen type thing. He was much older than us, but that was essentially how the journey began with us and him. And over the years, we went off to do Broadway. I went out of the country for a year and a half in Amsterdam, performing over there in the mall. Big entertainment company there. Toured for Seagram's, promoting Absolute Vodka. Then once I got off the stage, which was primarily due to injuries, like I was sustaining a lot of injuries because I was one of those high profile tappers. I could tap, I can hoof, but I could flip. Oh. So I wouldn't mind with a big flip into a split, and sometimes it would tear some shit. So that was taking a wear tear on my body. And I used to remember, you know, being in them shows, and I would always, like, you know, before every show I had this gut feeling that was just drenching. Like it was like 51st days. Every time I went out there, it was and it was like, maybe this ain't meant for me. You know, I was good at it, but maybe tapping was it. And I just liked the dude who walked in with the briefcase and his name was on the bottom of my check better. I like that job. You know what I mean? Like, damn, he flying on private jets. His name is right there and it makes this piece of paper real. How do I get mine? So I started thinking more about the behind the scenes in the production. So I started hanging out in the production offices. And, you know, just, you know, whatever I could do to make some extra money. Riverdance paid us well, but it was just, you know, I had bills that had accumulated from things that I was involved in before I left to do that kind of stuff. But I hung out in the office, so I learned about a lot of the box office stuff. When we were on Riverdance, we sat in California for 2 months. A lot of people don't know, the people who run the business, they don't go to concerts, they go to theatricals. You know, so Riverdance attracted some of the greatest, you know, the top names. And I'm not talking about the guys that's in the middle, I'm talking about top floor cats. So I'm meeting Lucian Grind, I'm meeting, you know, Jimmy Iovine at theatricals because they're there, you know what I mean? And I'm introducing myself, and I would tell all of the ushers, like, you know, whenever somebody's important, let me know they're here. And I'd give them a couple $2 for that. So I was getting introduced to these high level guys way back, you know, then. So we left California for Kansas, and it was the worst place to go after California. Like, who's in Kansas, you know? So I just remember thinking, I got to get back to fucking California. Like, damn, I was out there, you know, meeting with Robert Town, just like it was happening. And I'm looking at, like, me and my brothers, we would put on shows, but they were never at the level of a Riverdance. Like, we didn't have that formula. So I learned the formula, went out of the country for a year and a half over in Amsterdam. And then I came right back and got in my car and drove straight to Cali. And that was one of the greatest moves I could have made. It was tough because I didn't have family and friends there. So when it was bad, it was bad. I mean, like, sleeping in cars was bad. You know? And a lot of people don't understand it because I didn't want to tell my mom that stuff because I didn't want to worry her. I mean, you know, I'm out there by myself. But I found a way through all of that. You know what I mean? I found the way through it, you know, because when you got them feet, you know, I can always go out on Venice and put that cup down and make that bread, you know, to pay rent. And God did a lot of things, like signs that let me know that I was there, supposed to be there. Like, you know, so guy with Dick Scott who managed me, and he didn't know what to do with a tap dancer. So what he would do was use me as a gopher. And it would be funny because he said, son, come pick me up. And I go, okay, Dick, where we going? Well, we got a meeting over at MC. Oh, we got a meeting at MC. I'm thinking, oh, shit, he finna get me signed to MCA. You know, we'd be up, go in the room. Now, son, when you get there, I need you to carry my bag and just sit it down and stand on the wall and don't say shit. And I'd be like,
you sound just like That's how you sound,
I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not knowing that this ain't got nothing to do with me. At least I don't think. Yeah. So anyway, we would be in these meetings and he would be pitching these ideas, and I'm back here saying, that ain't a good idea, but I can't. My voice don't mean nothing in this room, so I ain't saying nothing. So he would, come here, son. And they would be talking, and they would, well, Dick, we don't know if this kind of work. How do you know, Dick? You're an old guy. Come on, come here, son. Sit up and shut the fuck up and don't do nothing else stupid, okay? Yeah, well, see, I'm not going to tell you how I arrived at that. But trust me when I say this shit's going to happen. It's going to fly. and they looking at each other and they looking at me like, what the fuck did he just say to him? You know, I ain't saying shit. And then, for you know what, Dick getting funded. But he was using me to stay relevant. And I realized, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's using me to stay relevant because they thinking he getting these great ideas from this young Thundercat behind him, you know. And I was like, okay. I didn't trip because whenever I started, the residuals for me was I would go to these events. Hey, come here. This is Dick's guy. Don, meet so-and-so. And it just happened to put me in the room with everybody. I was like, people knew me, but I didn't have any reason. I wasn't no famous tap dancer. I didn't have no records out. I was just affiliated with the right people. So I had a recording studio in my house. I was fighting with, it's funny, I met with Rodney Jerkins recently. We was working together on something, and it was the Brandy's album. And
Brandy
Norwood, right. And her A&R was Darnell Hudson. Yeah. It's okay. Her A&R was Darnell Hudson. Okay. And he was like, well, you know, I have submitted some songs to get that album. I wanted to executive produce that album. And the Norwoods came over to the studio. And first I was at home. I built the studio because I'm trying to elevate my game. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I can't bring Brandy to the house. So I got to get the studio. So I built the studio. Had guys come through, built it up in about 2.5 months. Studio was up and running. Full-fledged, state-of-the-art, knees board, all that stuff. So anyway, the Norwoods came over and they were the deciding factor. The mom came over. She's
Miss Sonia?
Sonia and the father. And well, he don't say much, but it was the mom. Yeah. So she's walking around and looking, oh yeah, we love it. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and I want this office and this, that, and I'm like, okay, cool. And Ray J need to be able to come through whatever he needs to. I was like, well, as long as he book a room out, he can do that. You know, you gotta get in line just like everybody else, you know. Mm-hmm. And I lost never heard from that again. And then next, Dark Child ended up getting that project. So it was funny we talked because he didn't know what happened on my side. Yeah. I was like, you know, you was up against me. He won out because he's a hell of a producer. Nothing. Okay. My skills are nowhere close to his, but you couldn't have told me that back then. You know, I felt like I would have did it justice. But I had connections to great producers and stuff. But that's essentially, you know, when you think about my history in the game, you know, from the theatrical side, I knew Steve and Bernie from Chicago. So when I got burnt out with music, which was, you know, when Randy Jackson left Universal, he was at A&M first, came over to work with Universal. I was sort of like a gopher for him. Okay. So when he abandoned his position for American Idol, I ended up sitting in that seat for a while. But at that time, music was transitioning, you know, into this gangster rap shit. And I wanted neo soul. I didn't want gangster rap. So, you know, I did a few projects that made me just disgusted with the industry, and I was like, you know, and I'm out of it. So I ran into Steve Harvey ran into Stanley Latham first, who was casting the Bernie Mac show. What's the Steve Harvey show? Probably did both. Anyway, I ran into him. I got on the set. Me and Steve knew each other from Chicago. So it was instant love right there. You know, he showed me love. Worked on that as associate producer. Then Bernie Mac, same scenario. I knew him from Chicago playing the circuit.
The Steve Harvey show and the Bernie Mac show.
Yes, I'm associate producer. Okay. Learning behind the scenes, in the mix on all of this stuff. So it's like all this knowledge, you can't pay for that shit. Yeah. Like you could go to Harvard and Yale and not come across as far as how this is relative to the industry with the kind of knowledge that I gained just being a fly on the fucking wall. I mean, so you fast forward ahead and I go to that moment in the car when I'm driving to Cali and I hear, I admit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm here and I'm like, say it ain't so. I mean,
so when R.Kelly put out that song, I Admit, I think it was right after I did that interview with his brother.
2018.
2018. That's when you say, you know what, I gotta get to Rob. I gotta get to R.Kelly. Of course, we're talking about Aaliyah's uncle.
Right.
Okay. What was that relationship like, and what did you see given your time with him?
Barry was a mind doctor.
Lifetime contributed heavily to the investigation that was opened against your brother. Your brother was going to pay you a fee to say that it was you.
When I had a videotape on Robert Sylvester Kelly, I did not. I was my brother's keeper.
There was a conversation we had about your brother R.Kelly impregnating his niece. Is that true? What if they were to say that the reason you weren't around is because you were a snake yourself? And that's how you guys reconnected from the subway.
Right. It was a guy that was a security. Me and him were still close friends today. I called him up. I'm like, Rich, where's Rob at? You know, like he told me where the studio was. I drove over there. I ran in the bug first, and then Rob wasn't there that day. The second day I went back, he was actually there. And I went in, and it was instant love from the get, because every time he would come to Cali, we would do something just to, pay homage to being good old boys from Chicago. I didn't need him for nothing. Yeah. I wasn't even doing anything remotely close where we could have, collaborated on stuff. So we just remained cool. Like, it was like, nigga, you made it out the subway. That was all I needed to ever see from you. You made it. You put the thought in my head that a nigga could start in the subway and make it up to the top of the mountain. So that was all he needed to give me. I'm saying, and that energy and that mindset and that commitment and passion for what he did was what I didn't know it full throttle, but, it's what I tried to put into what I was doing. So that's how I had a studio at the house and built the major studio. I always, strive to grow with whatever I was doing.
I remember at that time, I think it had came out that, his landlord was trying to evict him from his studio. He couldn't even pay his studio fees. He didn't even know that the lease was behind. Right. Yeah.
So it was several things that happened. So after the roll up the sleeves moment and we in the studio 3 hours, he broke everything down to me. He's like, Don, man, I need your help, and I need you to anonymously figure out unravel the bullshit that done happened with my career. There's no reason finding out now that I'm broke. I don't own none of my music. He broke it down. I'm like, well, Rob, there's only certain ways that could have happened. I'm like, well, where are your royalties going? And he's like, I don't know. So I didn't go into
R.Kelly did not know where his royalties were going.
He did not know. He had no clue that his royalties.
30 years in the music business plus.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many other artists don't know that. They don't know about Sony portals because you have management that keeps artists away from that. And I'm glad you said that, because it made me remember, like, back in the day, it used to be artist development, where the label would be responsible for attempting to develop the artist, personable skills, how to conduct yourself, what things to pay attention to. But when that dissolved, management just went nuts, because now that label has no personal connection with the artist. They can't put them up on stuff. Wayne Williams attempted to do that to a certain degree with Rob, but Rob didn't know how to handle the information he was getting from Wayne, and it caused conflict.
Who's Wayne Williams?
Well, Wayne Williams is the A&R that signed Rob to Jive. Okay. Right. So it caused a lot of conflict, because he would try to tell him, listen, motherfuckers are stealing your money. And Rob would go back not knowing, you can't just say they steal. You got to, even if you gave him something in, you got to feel this guy's went from the subway, max a couple $100 a day to making a couple $100,000 a day. So to him, I don't give a shit if somebody's stealing this, a whole bunch more, you know what I mean? And all you gotta do is drop another hit and he got a few more million.
So when you asked him about, where his publishing was going and royalties and things like that, what did he, so when he found out, what was his reaction like? Besides saying, I don't know, what was the next step after he figured out that I can figure out where it's going?
So it was a little bit more difficult than that, because it was so many different things going on that needed to be dealt with. The royalty was one thing, so I brought in a team of attorneys to ravel through that, sort through his portals, see if and once they got into the portals, of course, it's authenticating the contracts. I've never seen an artist with 92 contracts. He had more contracts and amendments to his contracts than probably all of the artists on Sony.
Well, how many on average is an artist supposed to have?
I mean, literally, you get a contract when you sign to the label, and if you do a video or something, all that's a part of that. They will file promissory notes, whatever, based on money, but that's typically the only security exchange instrument that exists. That contract, that one agreement. So you may have, let's say you want to do duet with somebody else on another label. Okay. That label's distributing it, of course, or for a movie. That's another contract, right? But to have 70 contracts and amended versions of his contract, meaning every time something would happen, they would amend the contract and they would put in some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
You mean the richer he got?
He didn't. He never got rich. Rob floated in the
or
blue
the
collar.
more money he generated.
Right, the brand generated.
Okay,
right.
So as the money grew, because his career grew,
Right.
the money grew, they amended that contract so that they could draw from that as well. So
Well, see, no, those are promissory notes.
Okay.
So what happened was he owned a certain percentage of his publishing, which was 50-50 initially. And what would essentially happen is every time somebody needed something, and this is directly connected to what he's going through now, they would do a promissory note for $4 million, $5 million, $6 million. So what I started noticing on these contracts and these promissory notes that it wasn't his signatures. And as a label, you have a fiduciary responsibility to authenticate the signature.
Sony.
Right. Well, it was first Jive, then it was Sony.
Okay.
So Jive bought his contract from his security agreement from Sony. So you have a responsibility to check and make sure that he signed it before you go giving out, for you allowing him to collateralize more of his publishing to get $4 million or whatever it is. And that's what they were doing. They were taking his shares of publishing, collateralizing them. And then, of course, the promissory note was for the label. And they were gaining more of his publishing shares. And in exchange for that, the money was coming in. But let's say Rob needed $500,000. They asked him for $5 million because they out doing all type of other shit with his money.
Like who was out doing?
Barry Hankerson had Jomo on contract. Aaliyah's uncle Barry signed stuff. Jomo signed stuff. Daryl McDavid. I mean, it was a pyramid that was created. That they created scenarios, much like what he's going through, that lawsuits would somehow mysteriously come into play. That they needed to borrow money from the label to pay the lawsuit. Now, what that did, and a lot of people are not understanding this because they're not on the inside of the game and understand how once a toxic environment is created, it's like when you catch your husband cheating, you know what I mean? It's hard for you to mess with him again because that energy didn't change between the two of y'all. Mm. So in Rob's case, you know, we didn't go looking to see, you know, if Rob was messing with underage girls, any of that. That's not anything I was ever curious about. I was trying to figure out how do we get gas back in the engines so we can get the boat back out the shore. That was really it. And what other industries can we look into, you know, to you know, that we can diversify his brand with, because you got all these artists that's doing everything now. Mm-hmm. So that was my game. But when you follow the money, things happen. You see other stuff because now you got to figure out, okay, well, where did this $4 million go? Okay, this $4 million is here. What happened adjacent to that transfer? Because Rob didn't get the $4 million, so where did it go? So that's when we would look over and see where they would, you know, a lawsuit that got $250,000, and then maybe a restaurant was built, you know, for somebody, or a house was bought, or all these things. So the smoke and mirror thing was just at a high level with him, like to the point of, I think we tracked over $200 million that was signed off in promissory notes of those 90 agreements from different people in his crew that didn't know, that he had no clue. Why would you be signing for your assistant to get $1 million?
So his illiteracy, I guess, led to people taking advantage of him and his money. So
essentially what happened, there was one main person that took advantage of him, and that would be his manager. And he had an attorney by the name of Linda Mitz. She's actually the person that was the president of all of his enterprises. Linda
How
Mitz,
does your attorney be your president?
Exactly.
That's a conflict of interest.
Totally, exactly. So she owns all of the RSK Enterprises, everything. She's the name that incorporated the company. She's the president and CEO. He essentially worked for her. So in his own brand, he was an employee of his own brand. But his management, you got to think about it. So the management is the one that's signing to get this money. I believe, and it's like this.
And this is all stuff that you uncovered.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a paper trail.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You've got, you know, a manager, and the industry would know Barry was a piece of shit. I mean, I don't have no respect for him, you know what I mean? Because how he played Rob, how he played Gladys Knight, how he played Aaliyah, you know, he's just Lord in life to me. You know, you've got great managers. There's nothing wrong with Sony. There's people with fucked up agendas that work for Sony, and they use Sony to take advantage of people. That's essentially how I look at that. So Barry is one of those managers that, you know, if he's on scene, the good guys ain't finna come work for Barry. So he attracted people who would allow him to carry out his agenda. And his agenda was to just keep Rob suffocated and distracted while he handled everything and he stole his money. And Rob thought Barry loved him. Like he looked at him as a father figure. So he would have never thought that that was going to happen. So of course, what snakes do when, snakes get in a pit, they start biting at each other, right? So you got Barry that's stealing. Rob finds out about it. He wants him gone. So they blackmailed him. That whole situation with the certain singer was all blackmail. And I know it because there's a promissory note for $8 million that came out right before that. And there was a settlement with the mother of that singer as well as the manager. 3 went to one person and 5 went to the other one.
Can I say Aaliyah?
Yeah.
I know you can't say it.
The person is known to go by that name from my understanding.
Okay.
So, that all happened. You can't erase that from the facts. And it's strange, but unless you're in the portal and see this stuff, you never know it.
Now, when you say portal, explain this portal.
It's like an ATM.
Okay.
A portal is where all of your documents, your financial transactions, and all that are stored for that label.
Okay.
And there are multiple portals. If you're an artist that's a performing artist, you may just have a portal with the label, and that's essentially your file, right? It's like your Dropbox. But if you're an artist that has writing ability, which Rob wrote all of his stuff, he was 100%er. He wrote stuff, he produced stuff.
Now, when you say 100%er, break that down.
Meaning he didn't need anybody to write any of his music.
Okay.
So he got 100% of his return for writing his music.
Okay.
So Babyface is 100%er. There's very few guys that write all of their material. So he's that one guy. So he had a Universal portal, which, if he ever did movies and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, you've got Sound Exchange. That's another portal. So they handle royalties overseas and stuff like that. So it's just different portals that handle the business and where all of your documents sit.
Okay.
So when you gain access to those portals, you can kind of investigate and see where things are going. Like, so during that, it took a team of about 12 lawyers collectively. I had lawyers here, I had lawyers in LA and in New York looking at going through these portals because there was so many. And I mean, one of his contracts.
You're talking about 30 years worth of information.
Yeah.
Information that you guys are trying to track and follow a money trail that led R.Kelly, Grammy Award winner, broke. Right.
And that was one of the most, I just couldn't understand it. Like, this man is the bag. You protect the bag. Like, y'all love him that little that you did this kind of shit? I mean, we would find companies that would be like ASCAP Corporation. Okay. ASCAP is a nonprofit. It's a foundation. But this is somebody who's getting money. So when we look further and do some digging, we find out that his stage manager owned this along with one of his ex-managers who ain't managed him for years.
Created a company to make it look like it was the actual ASCAP Foundation that is responsible for being a liaison to pay royalties to artists. Okay? Right. So essentially, they protect artists from the label.
They gather all of their royalties in the state.
Right. Exactly. And so they created like a dummy company to funnel money. So if Rob ever did look at it, it's kind of like ASCAP,
he's not questioning it.
The difference of foundation versus
he would never.
court.
First of all, the whole name ain't never. It's abbreviated. So you think you just see an ASCAP. Right. You ain't see a corporation or nothing. So when I start, because it was like.
And what manager was this that owned ASCAP Court?
This was well, it wasn't that. Artie had a corporation, and I don't want to quote the name because I can say it wrong, and I don't want to bring any issues to the wrong person's company. Okay. So Artie was one of the guys. Cheryl Mack was one of the people.
Cheryl Mack.
Yeah.
Cheryl Mack just testified against R.Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
In the trial.
Yeah. Well, she was.
That led to his conviction.
Linda Mintz, Joan Sullivan, who they. I mean, I could go down at least close to 30 people.
So Cheryl Mack was collecting money without
Rob's permission, without him knowing. 30% of his money.
From
that was from Universal.
For how long?
Up until last year. I'm sorry. Right. So we cut them off in the middle of a quarter. So these disbursements come out every quarter. So when we cut it off, we sent, the lawyers sent information over to Sony saying no one else is getting money from these portals. And so she found out around February this year. A lot of them did because we cut that shit off.
But how was she able to testify being that she was still collecting a check?
Well, see, a lot of people
illegally.
Well, not
doesn't
well,
that make
she
that
wouldn't
a
testify.
direct conflict of interest?
But see, the thing about that is, I don't think that the people prosecuting Rob looked far back enough. They went with what was put in front of them and went forward.
It was a Lifetime documentary, and a lot of what I did as well too.
That was enough. Think about it. That was an avalanche of enough reasons to go forward and persecute this guy.
Okay.
What reason would they have to look in his Sony portal to see how this shit began? They didn't care about that. They had to deal with what was right in front of them. So when you go back, and I'm trying to figure out how he got to that point, like, you know, how you got to broke, you know, and that's when it showed this whole anarchy that went on behind the scenes of, you know, the manager borrowing money. Of course, now the next person down know the manager's stealing, so you got to look out for him and allow him to steal. This person got to allow him to steal, so it was stealing on every level of this man's career. At the top, with the labels, at the show level, you had people. I mean, we call it contracts, where I would, you know, go authenticate the contracts, because that's how he got in a lot of tax problems. So a lot of money was paid out to his social and everything. When I got to add this, every corporation that was ever set up they used his social security number. Now that there alone, if Daryl McDavid is an accountant,
he's R.Kelly's accountant.
Right. He was a manager first. It was an accountant first, then became manager. A certified public accountant.
That's a direct
conflict of interest. Exactly. But if you're an accountant, how this man got tax problems? You're his manager now, but you should know what's going on. How does he have tax problems? And why is the corporation set up with his social security number? Get an EIN number to do that. I mean, so it was several people in place that these are landmines that were planted in the road, that when he got wise enough, which every artist wakes up around 50, look at Michael, look at all these folks, Whitney, you know, Prince, 50-ish, wise, they understanding what's going on. They're trying to look at the rest of their life, what they got in the bank. Boom. You ain't got time to deal with that. You got to deal with the shrapnel of the landmine you just stepped on. And the landmine was because all these people that were put in place, they adopted a system that kept him distracted, whether it was girls, whether it was parties, whatever it was, keep his ass distracted, because that nigga, man, he good. We got this one. We got us one here. Shit. I mean, the kind of money that was coming in, they had him one.
How much would you say that Rob made over the course of his career?
$900 million easily.
$900 million.
$900 million easily. And that's just what we can prove from the portals. I don't know as far as all of the money that was, you know, you can calculate certain things, because he had $18 million in tax problems when we first came on board. We did certain things that assist him with eliminating that. But you got to realize, to get to $18 million in tax problems, it's a lot of money that he didn't know he made. So, you know, 18 million doesn't total the taxes from 900 million. It totals the taxes from other monies. So, you know, when you really look at, you know, and this is a part about it that was so, like, sitting through all this shit is so disgusting to me, because, you know, the industry is a great industry, and it can, you know, it's a lot of artists that have great careers in this industry, you know, but like I said earlier, they are surrounded by people who care about them, people who do right by them, people who set them up and protect them. Is the only reason I'm here is because of you. Rob didn't hide that. You know, and from day one in the industry, it's like he came in ass backwards. You know what I mean? So that's essentially the problem. You got this young guy who, Barry was a psychologist by trade. That's what his degree is in. And also a politician. He worked in politics. He was the master manipulating mindfucker. I mean, so when you look at that, he set the tone for the R.Kelly brand. You know, day one, he's stealing money. I remember Rob telling me about a show that he went to, and Barry told him it was a promotional show and gave him a Rolex. And he was late. He thinks it's a free show. Shit, I'm promoting the album. He get back there, and the promoter's tripping the fuck out because it's a union hall, and they over, and it got costing them money. He's like, man, what you tripping for? This is a free show. He's like, nigga, I paid $4 million for you. Right. So that's one of his first shows. So their marriage was broken in the door. But yet this guy's controlling everything. He got I Believe I Could Fly coming. He got all these deals. He can't fire him. So now you in the room sitting next to a motherfucker that just cheated on you, and you got to act like you love him still. That energy ain't going to allow y'all to connect. Y'all are definitely not in alignment with each other at that point. So imagine you got this career. It's like you got the best house, your dream house. You'd have moved in. You know what I'm saying? And you find out that 10 murders was committed in there. You want up out that bitch quick. And he couldn't, because
everything
what he was
already in motion.
where are you going to go back to? The subway? mean, so, you know, he was faced with challenges that a lot of artists are faced with. I mean, I was there with the B2K situation. I was there in LA sitting in the fire, engineering sessions and shit with, you know, a lot of these artists, as yet, they came out of studio. They didn't have money to pay for studio time. The manager took all this shit. You know, I can go down the list. I mean,
are the rumors about what they say about B2K's manager true?
What I can't say about truth in that case, because I didn't have firsthand, I heard it was hearsay.
Okay.
I mean, but look at the scenario. Look how they, you know.
Look how they ended up.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this is a group that very talented guys, you know, and
they were essentially one of the biggest boy groups.
Yeah, I mean, look at New Edition, you know what I mean? You know, so all these guys.
I just had to throw that out there because I know everybody's been trying to figure that situation out, and I'm like, you know, you're very well deeply connected in the industry, and so I just said, why not just throw it out there?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to take y'all's subject, but we'll get back to the subject at hand, R.Kelly. Go ahead, please.
But to sit back and watch people just blatantly not give a shit about a person's life, and this person is the only reason you have access to certain things, is really sad. You know, and that was the part that fueled me, because I had been through situations where people didn't appreciate me and things of that nature. So I kind of had firsthand knowledge. I mean, I've had scorned baby mamas and stuff that, you know, want to, whatever, you know, see your demise before they want to witness your success. So those things motivated me to, you know, to rolling up my sleeves and going extra hard, because it's like, dude, you know, we got to get to the bottom of this, Rob, and then you have to make the decision to, you know, he has to make better decisions on who he surrounds himself with, you know, and I think anybody from his brothers to anybody, you know, that's the similarity right there in all of our conversations, who he was surrounded with. You know what I'm saying? And how a person, you know, can face prosecution and only have 4 people speak on his behalf, the character is really fucked.
He only had, because I know the prosecution had almost 100 witnesses.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me the defense, R.Kelly's defense only had 4 witnesses?
Unbelievable.
And
all them guys that were there every day.
An entire entourage, and no one testified on his behalf?
Yeah. On numerous occasions, I've heard people do interviews and say, Don wasn't a part of the inner circle. Fuck no, I definitely wasn't. Who wants to be a part of that shit?
Was it because maybe they cut deals?
Who's that? Yeah, well, you know, I wasn't there, so I can't say.
No. But let's just be honest. Like, I mean, he's not a one-man team.
Right.
So a machine like R. Kelly has a machine around him.
Right.
So,
and I came in 2018, so everything was done already.
When you came. But, you know, you got these guys that are around, that are eating, drinking, smoking, you know,
fucking,
and no one else is catching charges.
I mean, somebody listen,
I think you and Richard, I think it's like Richard LaFleur, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot his name. Don't get me to lying on him, but his name is, I don't know, Rick or something, I don't know. Are the only 2, Arline. Is it Richard Arline?
I think that's his name. Yeah.
Are the only 2 that really have charges, and you came in after everything was in motion.
Shit hit the fan.
And, you know, parents were already on the internet yelling about, oh, I want my daughter home, or he has my daughter locked up, there's a sex cult. How does this tie into, because, you know, viewers are going to hear, okay, yeah, he's broke. Yeah, everybody stole from him. Yeah, he couldn't read. But what about these young girls? You said he was occupied while everybody else was stealing. So how did they manage to get him occupied to the point where he's the only one on trial for his life? Like racketeering, all that stuff, tax evasion, things that he paid other people to do. Because like, for me, I'll give you an example. Like my tax issues. I mean, I don't have any tax issues because I have a tax attorney. And if anything were to go wrong, my tax attorney is sworn to the law that guess what? They have to go through him because he is the one.
He's bonded and insurance. Right. He's bonded. Yeah.
To protect me.
Right.
That's what we put him in place for. So ain't nobody going to be trying to come after me for no tax evasion. They're going to deal with him because that's who I put in place.
Right.
Not an accountant or a CNA or a CPA.
Right.
But how does that rope into him sleeping with young girls, him having a sex cult, him abusing and torturing and holding women hostage? And how does people stealing from him directly fit into him being on trial?
Well,
from what you saw when you came in?
From my vantage point, you can connect certain dots. Do I have firsthand knowledge because I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. But from me looking at the contracts, I'm looking at 21 and older on contracts with promoters. So that alone pushes him farther away from, being guilty of anything because he didn't let whoever this underage person in the door. Right.
Supposed to be no.
Yeah, I mean that's the box office that the venue who let the person in. They're supposed to check IDs out, whatever. If it's a 21 and older thing, so that's a problem. You've got a majority of people saying that someone gave him the number. Okay, so gave that person the number. Okay, so where's the person that gave the number? Because I'm sure they're still around. Why didn't they testify of what they thought the age was? I don't know. So that pushes him further away. But if that person was connected to some money and he was still in at a certain level, then of course he would want something to happen because now that's a landmine that's set to go off. It's like he gonna catch me eventually. He too smart, he too crafty, he's learning stuff. So I'm gonna let this person in, and it may have been planted. I don't know, but when I look at the way the theft happened and the people that were doing the stealing, they're directly connected to the consequences that he's solely dealing with by himself right now. So that's the problem. I'm like, okay, this person stole. This person has the corporation that they used to steal with. But also, this is a person that, in the story, was bringing people to the concerts. So this person brought a person in. He didn't check the fucking age. Like, he brought him in, his homie that $100,000, man, for life, nigga, NFL type shit. You didn't make sure your man was safe. It hadn't happened already. So to me, it's like when you're looking at it from the vantage point that I'm seeing, it's like, this is not adding up. It's like, and then, when you have so many, so another way to me to get a group of people to have the same result is what they came in for. What was your motive in the beginning? It was to get this result. How are people having recordings from you? I don't have one of my phones. I'm not saying that somebody can't cherish memorabilia, but you have an argument, you gonna tape that? How did you know y'all was gonna argue that day? How were you prepared to tape that moment? Unless you went in to create that moment. So you've got a man that's, partially broken because of what he went through in his childhood. You got a manager who knew that. So he knew from a psychology standpoint how to deal with Rob, how to push him in certain positions to make him feel that he could trust him. And, this whole pyramid that was, this ecosystem that was created to leave him in the position that he's in was created at the very beginning. And people just adapted certain roles in that ecosystem, and it worked.
Do you feel that Barry Hickerson knew? Because he recently did an interview looking like he's 2 steps away from the grave.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're speaking now. There's money to be made. Do you feel that, because he said he didn't know that R.Kelly was sleeping with his niece.
Yeah,
and he wanted to do something about it, but God wouldn't let him.
So for how many years?
Why not go to why not go to the police when you found out?
It's funny that out of all these years, she's dropping an album now.
Yeah. Of course, the publicity of it. But
you ain't got to pay for advertising.
My thing is, you're sleeping with my 12-year-old niece, right?
I don't know how old she was.
Yeah. I'm just saying hypothetically. That's what is being out there. You marry, you impregnate my underage niece, and I never go to the police about it? No one has ever asked that question.
Well, first of all, nobody's validated that she was ever pregnant. That's one. What I know for a fact that there was $8 million affiliated with a promissory note that went to Barry and his sister of Rob's money. Why would they get that?
And we're talking about Leah's mother.
Yeah, Rob's sister, Barry's mother, Barry's sister, and Barry is an $8 million promissory note around that time that was directly affiliated with the withdrawal from his money. And what was they getting $8 million? Well, especially the mother. What she get $3 million for? So
and Aaliyah's at.
So if you want to blackmail somebody, that sounds like the perfect story to use. We're going to go public with this, or else you cut us a check and it goes away. I mean, so when you think about that.
And this was a promissory note that you uncovered.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the signature on it. Jomo signed the motherfucker. It's like.
So would it be safe to say that you are public enemy number one now that you have uncovered this enterprise and how they've pretty much robbed?
Yeah, robbed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see how that's a disruptor. I mean, and I can see how that's a disruptor. I can see how this investigation was fueled to start at a certain point because there was so much overwhelming evidence. And look at this. Sony used the man for years to sell sex. He was Jive and Sony. He was the king of sex sales. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had to have a lot of fucking sex to come up with most of the motherfucking material he had. So they used it and profited off of him selling sex, to the millions, damn near billions, And the thing that's unbeknown right now also about the Sony situation is in 2 years, Rob gets, all of his publishing stuff back.
In 2 years?
2 years. It's a written law that every 38 years artists get it back. 100% of their publishers, they have to execute terminations in order to do that. And very few lawyers know about that in the industry. But they use this man for all these years.
They make them wait 40 years to get their publishing?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Because
they're hoping, I guess, the average life expectancy, they wouldn't even make it.
Well, it kind of makes it to get to 50. And they'll have an unfortunate,
Whitney Houston was 50. Michael Jackson was 50. Prince was 50.
Well, let's look at it this way. The labels created that law to be fair to me because a lot of artists borrow a lot of money from labels. It's part of the game.
It's a long time to
pay
it back.
So, you got to pay it back. So, so to me, that's not an unfair rule in the industry. But Rob didn't know that. He didn't know he was getting his stuff back.
He didn't know?
Hell no. He didn't know none of that. He didn't know about the third. So that's where the problem come in. The label created a fair exit term that allows artists to capture their, to regain control of their collateral.
What would Rob would have been worth? Or what will Rob be worth in 2 years after the publishing is returned to him?
Well, it's hard to explain what he'll be worth because you have to understand how this whole collateral thing works. And essentially, when you're getting in advance or you're getting money based on a person's catalog, intellectual property, they run them through numbers. It's a whole numbers game where they know exactly what an artist like Rob will make if they release him in certain markets and da-da-da-da-da. So being that he's a challenged artist right now, the value of his collateral is not as it was when he wasn't.
But his streams are at 50% now.
Yeah, they are. But,
now,
but let's think about this. So let's just take this another step further. If Rob's career follows the same as Whitney's and Michael's, it's going to be worth 50 times that.
And when you say 50 times that,
because people support artists when they in the time.
Just throw a number out there that you could say like minimum.
Across the world, 2 billion easily.
Wow.
I mean, people are just focused on United States. If something happens, there's countries right now that love the fuck out of him and playing his music as we speak. They don't give a shit about what's happening. They see this corrupt shit that's going on with this, what's going on with his career. So, just imagine, he dropped a record and he would be, if something were to happen to him, unfortunately, like what happened to Michael or whatever. And Sony is the gatekeeper for all of that.
And so it's safe to say that you and R.Kelly, well, I mean, you knew him as Rob, not really R.Kelly.
Right.
I mean, only the
I called him Rob.
Yeah.
Or bro.
Did he start to, I guess, get rid of people as you came in and uncovered?
No, Rob had that was a detachment issue with him. He didn't get rid of nobody. That was the problem that me and him had because we couldn't, I couldn't.
So you're telling him that your man here that's playing ball, that brought a 13-year-old girl into your show, is stealing from him. He still let him stay?
Well, he never got a chance to steal from him. He was more of a puppet that was
We're talking
used.
about Bubba, right?
No, Bubba is a whole nother story. Okay. So I wasn't around with Bubba, so I can't speak firsthand on Bubba's role. My understanding about Bubba, Will Eady played a similar role.
Yeah.
And I know what he did because I saw it with my own eyes. You know
What'd you see?
I mean, he would, bring women to the events.
Underage women?
I never saw the underage women.
Okay.
I mean, listen, it's girls that look in today's world because of the genetics and the food and all that shit. You can be 15 and look 25.
Yeah.
You're also gonna be 25 and look 15. You know what I mean? So based on how you came up, less stress. But I wasn't ever looking for that. What I was looking at is Rob and his reaction to certain things, and so I didn't see him out doing anything. It was other people that were moving, things around and doing certain things and bringing. He didn't have to. He's our,
What was his schedule like?
Oh man, that was where we clashed at a lot because I'm running a business, and from 9 to 5, and later than that because it's mine. And then he wakes up around 7 or 8. He wakes up and you hear from him around 9, 10, and it's okay. Meet me at the gym. So you go smoke, shoot some hoops for a few hours. Then you got to go smoke cigars at the cigar bar. And then you go into the studio after that, and you're going to sit up and look at his videos, listen to his new music and all that stuff for a few hours, unless it's the game only playing that. And then he's back into the studio for the whole night. And that was routine. Like every fucking day. Like, he would break off and smash or whatever. But
So why, I guess, because the big thing was like, oh my God, he has beds in the studios and he has the girls in the studios. And like, of course, we're talking about Aaliyah's uncle.
Right.
Okay. What was that relationship like, and what did you see given your time with him?
Barry was a man doctor.
Lifetime contributed heavily to the investigation that was opened against your brother. Your brother was going to pay you a fee to say that it was you.
When I had a videotape on Robert Sylvester Kelly, I did not. I was my brother's keeper.
There was a conversation we had about your brother R.Kelly impregnating his niece. Is that true? What if they were to say that the reason you weren't around is because you were a snake yourself? Was it safe to say that Rob lived in the studio?
Yeah.
That was his life?
His house was upstairs, and he had multiple. He got a house. Trump was a house, but that was where he kept his family. This was a guest in his family.
Yeah.
The studio was where he had his house apartment on one floor, and then where it was just private to him and whoever he engaged up there. And then on the studio floor is where all of the associates and frenemies came. So I didn't go past certain things because I didn't. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to know, but I wasn't there for that. It was like my expertise is not in seeing, whether he's this guy's looking. I just didn't see any of that. I didn't see whether he was sending somebody else to go find 15-year-olds and shit. And
try not to hit because it's gonna pick up on the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's okay. Yeah.
So I didn't witness any of that. And I it's times that I look to see anything that seemed inappropriate, but our energy was cool.
So you didn't see any girls being held against their will? Did you see any girls being beat or underage girls? You didn't see any
I wasn't there long enough.
Okay.
I mean, like, I came in 2018, like the end of 2018. Shit had hit the fan already.
And I know the Savages and the Clarys were on the internet blasting you as if you was like the Suge Knight of R. Kelly's enterprise. Like, you won't let me see my daughter.
I mean, I was actually trying to negotiate with them to come together, but they kept turning it into a damn, like they wanted to create a production around it to generate money from it. It was like, come on, man, like, let's amicably solve this thing. Like, from
what you saw, did the girls look happy? Like, they didn't want to go anywhere? And
first of all, I wouldn't have been around them if they didn't. I'm not. If somebody's being held together, I'm gonna fight you. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
you're a father, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so it's like, If I had seen anything that seemed uncomfortable, I wouldn't have been with that shit. I mean, you got to look at this. I'm 46, 47 in a couple months. And I've got a whole history in this industry. You ain't never seen me affiliated with no shit like this. I mean, I just ran, some of the scenarios that I was around and a part of, and I was out there in LA where the real shit go down. I ain't never been affiliated with nothing negative to this degree. I get around him and now I'm just, this person that's, no, hell no. I wouldn't have stood for. I left LA because I wouldn't sell my soul to the devil. Like, there's plenty of opportunities where I could have had distribution contracts and shit, but I ain't bending over for nobody. Fuck no.
Do you regret associating yourself with Rob?
No. God did that. I didn't do that. Okay. You can't change something that he put in the,
Now, I've since issued your mother an apology as well as you. And, because the Clarys had given me information about your mom being a part of this and kind of helping Rob to run this sex cult of an organization. And when I tell you your mother is so far from that, and so are you, I really feel hoodwinked and bamboozled, and how dare they fuck with my brand like that. But the thing about me is I'm glad that I do go from a non-biased perspective, because I'm not afraid to get up here and say I was wrong. And I want to genuinely tell you in front of the world that I was wrong about you. I was, and I apologize for anything that I've said in that video where it featured R.Kelly's enablers. I did get that information from the Clarys as well as the Savages. It is now down because there was a lot of inaccurate information that was out there, and starting with you and your sweet mother. Like she's like a mom, and I feel horrible. And I said, what way to right my wrong is to give you the same platform that was used to tear you down, okay? An opportunity to build you up and let people see you for who you are. You're not a mobster. You're not a gangster. You're a tap dancer and an IT guy. Right.
Yeah, and I'm a visionary. I mean, I could see things that need to be a part of something, and that's essentially it. Like, I saw what was missing from this vessel, Rob, the R.Kelly vessel, and I just tried to bring in what was necessary to make it whole again. So that was essentially it.
Now, I know you really can't talk about the details of your case. And that's going to be on public display here, because I feel the feds, they want to feel like, oh, you know what, we got R.Kelly locked down, so let us look like we're going to go after the people that surrounded him, but yet you've only been around a couple of years, and there are people that have been around for years, and they're not touching them at all. So these conspiracy or charges that they have against you, what do you want to say about that? I don't want you to go into specifics, because I don't want you to jeopardize your case or anything like that. But what do you want to say about the charges that the feds have filed or charged you with?
This whole theater of court is very intriguing. And it's nothing that I'm scared of. God. That
was going to be my next question. Are you
God is the only man that's above me. I'm second to him only. So to me, he's controlling whatever. And it's just like with me and you. If the videos that you did on us up your numbers enough for me to come while you got a greater audience now, then use me for that.
Yeah, because my numbers weren't that.
I'm cool with that. Because we all learn at the expense of other people. We all benefit at the expense of other people. So I'm not concerned with it, at all. I can understand the prosecution's vantage point based on the evidence that they were presented to go after him, but they were presented with not the full scope of what really went on to get him into that position. If it's my only position was for him to fight on his feet, not his knees. Like, let me get intel for him to fight, and they should be up for a good duel. That's my opinion. They've got all this unlimited resources. Allow us to prepare this side. So that's, I don't have it's collateral damage in any fight, Especially if
so you're not worried the least one bit about
God controls all that. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you know, whatever they're saying, it doesn't bother me. It's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
I believe waste of taxpayer money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they essentially got who they went after, what do they need to keep going with anything else? You know, he was already sentenced. What you know, so you know, you know, there are things that I know of that's going on that will assist me. So I'm not really too concerned. Yeah.
Do you feel that, in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
you feel that Robert Kelly is innocent?
Yes. I mean, of the charges that he's facing, yeah.
Okay.
He's guilty of being foolish and keeping the wrong people around him. So indirectly, he's guilty because he enabled the people to be around him that eventually put him in the situation that he's in. And on many occasions, I said, Rob, get rid of him. Like, dude, you should be having a stint in Vegas.
These same people did not even testify for him.
Not one of them on his behalf. Y'all 50 or 30-year niggas and not one of your 30 years, the NFL's niggas for life, got up on the stand and said anything to, uphold your character and say what kind of person you've been to them. And that's really fucked. I mean, y'all have the audacity to claim that y'all in his inner circle and y'all his homies for life, but you didn't say one thing to help this man out on the stand. I mean, I collected affidavits from women who had great experiences with him. You know what I'm saying? None of that was introduced. I mean, so, he's indirectly guilty because, like I said, he kept the wrong people in his midst, and he knew that. I sat down and Rob on plenty of occasions and said, listen, this person's stealing from you. Here's the proof. This person changed this contract. Here's the proof. This person did that. This person, whatever. And, gotta keep your enemies close. Nah, that shit don't work, bro. Like, seriously, your enemies should be close to you right now in that cell, But no, they out here running around, spending your shit, driving Benzes and wearing Rolex watches and shit, because they have access to certain things. And where you at?
I'm stuck at his attorney owning his company.
Yeah, Linda Miss. Look it up. Google
And
RSK Holding.
wrote the checks out to the accusers.
Yeah.
Part 2 coming soon.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. We'll talk about that later off camera. But it's just mind blowing, And is there any hope for Rob getting out?
Well, I'd have to believe that there is because I believe in God.
Okay.
And I know that he's not going to walk you out of something until he finished with you, until you've made your peace with him. Yeah. And Rob disobeyed God, I believe, from my vantage point, because he gave him a special gift. And at a certain time in your life, you have to protect that gift by any means. He didn't give it to no, he chose you. And I think Rob's allowing the industry to push an agenda that, in so many essence, hurt the world. A lot of babies was made to his music. And it was made by people probably who didn't love each other, whatever. I don't know the collateral damages, but I know there is a lot. So he gave him that ability. Rob could have changed the world by writing other types of songs. So he allowed them people to use them. So he has to sit down and deal directly with him. And he can do things that nobody can. I mean, he can walk him right up out of there now on a technicality, So, but he's the only one capable of that. So his fate is in his hands. And I do think that he is a spiritual person and he is connected with Source because he wouldn't have the gifts that he do if he wasn't. So I do think that whatever work that God is performing, he ain't done yet. And once he is done, based on the outcome, then the next steps will take place.
I'm glad that I'm a firm believer in all things happen for a reason, and I really believe that without me making that video, we wouldn't be sitting here.
No way.
And there was a particular blogger, Candace Pelham, that did try to connect me with you, but because of the information that was doctored, and there was a lot of egregious allegations against you molesting girls as well, and to find out that information was doctored and given over to blogs such as myself to paint you as this monster. it's just wow. And so we do business a lot different over here now. Yes.
Having babies is a change thing, man. No sins of the father here.
There's nothing and no one we can't talk to.
Right.
And there's somebody that can always, if I can't call him myself, get him on the phone.
Right.
And so I just want to listen. I know you're in the middle of fighting for your life right now. So I don't want this interview to drag on too long, but you have kind of, and I just wanted the world to see you for who you were.
Listen,
it was an image painting.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I had a tall order from God. Like I told him what I wanted before I ever graced this earth. Mm-hmm. And my mom didn't save up for me to go to Ivy League colleges to get the information or the knowledge to be able to do. And I think I've shown you some of the stuff in the website that we put together. So he had to use the things that I was surrounded by to educate me. Like them rooms that I was in, standing up against the wall, holding briefcases, and R.Kelly. Like I've created an app that I think will assist artists in years to come.
Yeah, and tell us about that, because you were trying to move Rob over from the machine.
Yeah.
And put him in charge of his own. And as you're doing this, all this other mess comes up.
Yeah.
Right in the midst of him walking towards freedom.
Right. So it's artists all over the world who just don't understand this game, how their catalogs are collateralized, and the security agreement that they sign, is how, an insurance bond could be put against it and they go get the money, which is what they end up giving them back. I know that because I've been inside the lion's den, and I've seen how it operates, So as part of with Rob, I had already created a platform for artists to be able to take control of their intellectual property, manage their own brands, have a management app where they can disperse, money to various people who are part of their organization. Nobody touched nobody else's, money. And we had launched it into the marketplace, and it was in traction. And I said, Rob, this was a match made in heaven, because I'm over here, bootstrapping this new technology, and it's like I get to do a Q&A with the top dog. So that knowledge that I was gaining from what happened, it didn't get no bigger and no badder than his shit was, So I'm at the top of the mountain, can ask the king of R&B, so what happened with that, Sergio? And I go back and create a module or something added to the application that now that ain't happening no more. You know what I mean? So artists can now take control of their brands back.
It's called Indie Bill.
It's called Indie Bill.
I saw the application.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
To see something. And I love when blacks are in tech, because it just hits different.
Yeah.
We're what do you call it? We're indoctrinated to think that it's only, the Japanese or the Indians or the whites that are in tech, but to see the application that you built that was going to essentially allow Rob to be in control and see all of his money and be able to disperse it within the application.
Yeah, and be social with his fan base and all that.
Amazing. Yeah. And call the shots.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, they lose control when they turn it over to somebody else. But what I want to set the record straight is, the vision for Indie Bill was given to me. I had no knowledge of technology. None. I mean, and then I had friends from the industry, all these guys that I knew. Yeah. So I went to them to raise money. I raised like $2.7 million in my seed round from family and friends. And the problem was I didn't know technology. And I was hiring these guys to interpret what I was seeing, and they were ripping my ass off left and right, because they was, it takes 20 months to build this application. And I'm like, okay, well, 20 months, how much is it gonna cost? $50,000. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the 50. And 20 months go past, which they could have built in probably 2 days. But because of my lack of knowledge, I'm trusting what this guy's saying. Yeah. So I felt like after 2 years of developing the thing, and I never had a finished product, I'm like, I'm not asking another person for money unless I learn what the hell I'm doing, because they're stealing from me. And I felt bad because I'm asking friends and stuff and telling them I'm going to get this thing done. And here it is, I ain't delivering. So I put myself in technology from the standpoint of I had a responsibility to my shareholders and my team. The people that weren't tech people that was expecting to eat off this thing too, right, that had dedicated time, energy, and effort.
And where can they go to find your application? Any indie artists or just anybody in general that's in the business and want to be in control
of their own brands,
of their own brands,
and be social at the
especially
same
with an
time.
up and coming artist.
Yeah.
You know?
IndieBuild.com, INDYBUILD.
Because YouTube is taking people down.
Yeah.
Spotify is taking artists down.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen it from iTunes, but I mean, they will kind of, you know, bury you in their search engine, so it makes it hard for people to search you. And I just think, you know, the more the artists are more in control, the less the world can do to them.
Well, it's centralizing things.
It cancels cancel culture.
Yeah, right. And then
It cancels out
right.
the whole cancel notion. Because I tell them, cancel your debit card because you can't cancel me because
Right.
I own my shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's
Right.
the whole reason
Essentially.
why my husband built the app. I own my shit. Don't know. So
It's essentially what Chance the Rapper did, you know.
yeah.
And what Prince tried to do years ago when he left Warner Brothers
Prince
and dropped
started educating.
he
people.
dropped his.
Every time, the one story that I heard, every time that Prince ran into an artist, he always educated them on the importance of owning your IP, owning your masters, owning everything that's around
he
you.
learned that the hard knock life way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he didn't have any of it. You know, he didn't own his name. You know, Warner Brothers did. So, like I said, it's nothing wrong with these. They are an outlet for artists to put their stuff out there. But, you know, the business has changed so much. It's a global industry now, and there has to be new methodologies and things introduced so that people, you know, can bootstrap their own shit, can street perform at this level. So IndieBuild was a global effort. It wasn't just me. I mean, I was the person saying it should do this, it should do that. I linked up with developers around the world. I mean, so I've got people in Bangladesh, I've got Pakistan, India, all doing development, design, and collectively we meet on Zoom or Skype or whatever, and we hash this thing out. I mean, so we have a lot. The things that I've learned from their culture, just, you know, hearing how the Bollywood operates, a lot of that's in IndieBuild. So that's why it's, when you saw it, it's like, you can't see where it came from. It's not this ethnic thing that, you know, black people put stuff out. It looks, it was something.
No, it's actually pretty. I was like, damn.
Right. So
Legit.
It's, and it's free. So that's the greatest thing. And the
now
thing.
we'll put links below because we have a lot of artists.
Yeah.
I know a lot of artists that want to be in control. And my thing is, like, look at Tory Lanez.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his situation.
Right.
You know, Tory Lanez, as soon as an allegation came out, he didn't even have his day in court.
Yeah.
To be able to fight that before they started removing his music and his IP.
And that's
but if he had already built the machine within himself, which means, guess what? Cancel me all you want, charge me whatever you want.
My true fans don't come support me here. Right. Right. And that's essentially, that's the issue, because in any situation, there's a strategy, and the strategy starts with attacking the money. That's what the fuel. Whatever's going to fuel the defense, attack that. Kill the money off. And that's what happened with Rob. They killed off his money. He didn't have any, but every show and all that they start losing show dates, and anything that we could do to generate money, they attacked that. And he had no place to, and then, if you don't control the platform, then YouTube takes you off, or Spotify takes you off, or SoundCloud takes you off, then that's killing your money.
Just like they recently did after his indictment.
Yeah, exactly. So
they took his YouTube channels down, but they left his music on YouTube Music.
They're crazy. Yeah.
They get a cut of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it looks like we can still search it on YouTube.
Yeah. Sony didn't drop him. They released him, but they still own his publisher. I mean, so they still get paid for it. And then nobody's talking about the overseas money that he's making hand over fist. So. With IndieBuild, it's a revenue share platform, and it gives money directly to the people who build the platform. And that's the fans. That's the talent. And I think that's where it's just, if I'm tap dancing in the subway and this guy appreciates me, if somebody comes and takes that and takes a percentage who had nothing to do with what I did and his response to what I was doing, that's theft. So if I have fans, 1,000 fans, 100 fans, and they appreciate my music, they should be able to get it directly from me. And that's essentially what I felt like, getting rid of the overpriced middlemen and putting artists in charge of their brands, was important to this business, because too many often you got artists, TLCs, and all these artists that just die broke, don't own shit. Like, why is
essentially black artists?
Yeah. Well, back in the day, it was all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we just ain't interested in their stories. You know what I mean? So they get shafted too. The bottom line is green. I don't give a damn what the person, so. But me sitting and seeing that, it was like, this is just, Sony's perfect. The police department is perfect. But people who work for those companies have fucked up agendas. And they use, it's not officer, it's the name on the other side that did some fucked up shit, that wronged you. He's the one that did the wrong. So, and they do it in the name of police, or they do it in the name of Sony. So to me, it started for me in a house similar to this one. You know, my mom put the tap shoes on me. We went downstairs. I tapped and I saw him put the money in my hat. I picked it up and I put it in my pocket. It's just as simple as that. If I wanted to break bread with somebody, he'd go a few dollars. That's how it should be. Yeah. That's the natural, organic nature of business, should be that simple. But when you start pushing somebody layers and you got a label, now you got an ASCAP, you got this, you got a manager, you got a road manager, and the artist is here. He at the bottom of the top, but everything happened because of him. Yeah. So it's like, that's backwards as hell. That's ass backwards. Who created that? Like, you know, if I need somebody to do something for me, let me pay him to do it.
And I want to say, like, for the record, you don't do interviews.
I don't.
You don't. And I had to pull teeth, nail, hair, everything to get you to come on camera, because essentially a lie on challenge becomes the truth. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, Don, I know you. Like, you have to be the person to allow people to see you, because right now you're just a name on the internet with charges beside him, an affiliation to R.Kelly, who is literally spending the rest of his life in jail. Mm-hmm. You have to say something, because now they're going to try to paint a picture about you to a jury. Because at the end of the day, when you think about prosecutors and you think about defense attorneys, it's like, who can paint the best picture? Who can tell the best story to convince civilians such as myself to put someone like you in jail? Right. And if you came before a jury and I was on that jury, I would not be putting you in jail. And that's, thank you. And I want to thank you for that. It was my decision to do it, although I've been advised to, you know, not to. I've never been doing this for popularity. You know, if that was the case, I'd still be tap dancing. But one, he's a brother. It's like a soldier on the battlefield. If you can walk, he needs to be up on your shoulders. So that's how I feel about the situation with Rob. But then in regards to me, I'm sitting here listening to them telling me to be quiet, don't do this, but yet CNN puts out an article about I'm cooperating with this person, I'm doing that. Of course, it destroys all of my deals that's on the table, and because now these people are looking into me, and they saying this shit, cooperation, mug shot from when I got pulled over for driving without a license. You know, they didn't put the mug shot like I just got released. You know, I was stalking and kidnapping. I'm like, I just got a ticket for driving too fast and no insurance and no license. I ain't no criminal. The fuck? Like, you know, so they're like, why you take a mug shot then? Because that's what Georgia does. Right. You put over there, snap your picture, smile for the camera. So I got approached by the big, you know, CNNs and all, and I CNN, NBC. You know, to me, their timing was off. It's like, you want me to talk after he's been convicted. I can't help him now. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna say to help his circumstances, you know, and it's more in a position of, you know, making it a fair fight. Like, shit, y'all, it's like that scene in Gladiator when he was going up to fight the dude at the end and he stabbed him in the side real quick and covered him back up. Why do you want that advantage? Y'all already U.S. government. You work for the government. You don't need no grander advantage than that. Like, you know, let the man fight on his feet, period. So when I saw the way that I'm this guy I got companies that we bring kids every summer in and, you know, put them through training courses. I pay for all that shit. Been doing it for years. I've hosted. The giving goes beyond what I could imagine. Like my company, I'm always the last person to get paid. I make sure everybody else is straight first, you know. And anybody that's worked for me can say that. Like me and my mom, when we was in our startup phase, we would be like, shit, we got barely enough for both of us to get on this train. I mean, you go and catch it, and I'm gonna just chill at the office tonight. You know, it was that kind of shit with me. So for them to paint this picture like, you know, he's this, you know, and I'm like, I'm not Robert. I'm not shutting the fuck up. Hell no. And I thought about it. Media is going to take this shit, cut and place what they won't wear. Yeah. And before I know it, I'm going to be in there saying, yeah, he did it and I fucked him. No. So I went back when I thought about when you reached out, I was like, she got to say she's sorry face to face. So I said, bring your ass to Chicago. We are in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
How far are we from O Block?
From O Block? I don't even know what that is.
They say that's the place in Chicago you don't want to go.
I don't even go there, so I don't know.
Okay.
But beyond that, after meeting you the first time a while back, it was like, she just don't know me. You know, that's literally what I was like. I can't blame you for doing something, you know, when you didn't know. And like I said, the evidence was so overwhelming. You got 50, it's much like when you got 15 people saying he did it, or I was this monster. Why not?
Yeah. And I know the tactics that the prosecution used against R.Kelly, you know, watching it. People were asking, like, why are you not reporting on it? Because I know what they're doing. It's like you got a jury of your peers and you got the prosecution who is the U.S. government who wins everything. And they come in with 10 lawyers and 100 witnesses, and I'm sitting there all day away from my family. I can't use the internet. I can't use the phone to call nobody. I got to stay in a hotel room. I can't watch TV. I got to tell where I'm going. I got to check in, check out for a 2-month trial. And all I'm hearing is people saying the same thing about this person. When it comes time for the verdict, that's why I didn't even take them a lot of time to deliver, because the jury was overwhelmed.
They're programmed, yeah.
They were already programmed. Like, these girls are sitting up saying, like, God knows how in the fuck R.Kelly was credible enough to sit her ass on that stand.
Well, I mean, it's just the simple way we met.
Girl, you lied publicly 5 times.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
How is it that should have been an automatic dismiss? You are not credible enough to sit here because we don't know if you're going to tell the truth or not. And yet, because the jury was already bogged down with information, you notice she was one of the last people to go because the jury had already made up their mind at witness number 30. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, the way we met is the same mountain they were up against. Like, you heard from a certain group of people who painted me to be a certain person, and you went with it because it only made sense if that many people said it.
And I should have listened to Candace. I did. Yeah, Candace is a good blogger.
Yeah. So
I wish she would put out more, but
you
know, she allowed people to, you know, kind of poison me against her or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I got a job to do, and so do you. And, you know, like I said, I have no problem telling people that I'm sorry and I fucked up. Okay, I'm human, and you know, when you do fucked up shit, you own up to it.
Right. I respect the craft because, you know, I'm never gonna say my true belief about media, but it needs to be jolted. It needs to be something needs to threaten media, because the journalistic agenda and the journalistic moral compass of these broadcasters and stuff is just, it's all one-sided. It pitches, I mean, they can persecute you before you ever prosecute it.
Right.
I mean, you know, you've been decided upon because of, you know, so I think something needs to happen to balance that, bring in some accountability. And I think you guys are the first step at the universe's way of doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I listen, I appreciate it. All of the bloggers that were out there, you know, putting in time, you know, on one side or the other, you know, I appreciate it because it's necessary. It's necessary. The system got to be, it has to change, you know. So, and all that's special interest. It's all about money. They're pushing an agenda of, you know, special interests or, you know, lobbyists or whatever, you know, for major corporations. It's nothing to do with people anymore. Rob is a person first. He's a person. He's a person with feelings, and it's like, you know, the people that he came up against, you know, in court, they're people too, you know. And I think that the issue that I have with that was it shouldn't have took the theatrics around this whole thing, you know, for them to, you know, and the money that they were promised and paid and all that stuff, you know. If somebody wronged you and you're a person, we're gonna deal with this right now. It ain't gonna take you putting $5,000 in my pocket or $10,000 or whatever for me to make a big deal about this, because media has an agenda and they want to push that agenda, and unfortunately we're going to use you to do it. And that's essentially what I feel has taken place here. Media, yeah, I mean, it was once entertaining.
Well, I never got paid for anything, ever. I do not.
When I mean you, I'm talking about the people.
No, but I don't accept payments, and I don't pay people to speak, and that's probably why I don't get a lot of the bigger interviews that I want, because a lot of them are looking for money. And when something goes wrong or somebody files a lawsuit, you ain't finna say I paid you shit to say nothing.
Well,
so that's why
you're truth seekers.
Yeah,
it's truth seekers. I mean, you know, and as a truth seeker, I think you have an equal obligation to, you know, to seek the truth. You have a moral responsibility to seek the truth. You're here because you sought the truth, and we're sitting down talking because of what you was in search of. You didn't just, when things didn't sound right, you went beyond, you know, the Call of Duty, and you were sitting in, here talking.
I've left Atlanta in search of the real truth.
Yeah, and so I applaud you for that.
Which is only right. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't around, but I do know a lot of those girls did admit to lying about their age on the stand.
Yeah.
That is in transcripts, as well as being put in place by their parents. And, it was just so much. And when you sit back and you really look at the bigger picture and you see how things could get handled, and it's easy to distract someone. It's like having a dog. You don't want your dog to bark. What do? You put a muzzle on them, okay? You distract them with food. Tell them to go. You throw a frisbee. Right. Throw a toy, to get them out of the way.
People do that to kids too now.
Yeah, they do.
Not the muzzle, not the muzzle.
And I feel like that is what happened with him. And and I know a lot of people are probably going to be pissed off. I don't give a fuck. Right. But listen,
it used to be. You're welcome. It used to be entertaining to watch stars rise. Now it's entertainment to watch them fall.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah. Thank you so much.